Due to possible harmful extremist content, parental discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of the station, its affiliates, or advertisers. The use of the show is only allowed with the express written permission of the producer and the host. So, get ready for 2 hours of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show starting right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, June 24th, 2026. We got it going on. We got all the news, everything happening around the world. With me tonight, I've got Bullhorn Barry on the mic. What's going on, Barry?
Good evening, Patriots and freedom fighters all over the world.
That's right, Patriots. We're happy to have each and every one of you out there listening in on this beautiful, beautiful summer day. I see kids running around having water balloon fights. You know, we're in it. We got the World Cup going on. And I'll tell you, they talk about this heat in America like it just hits you like a ton of bricks. All the Europeans here for the World Cup. And it's quite funny because, it gets really hot in the United States. It really does. I think in Phoenix, it's probably 110 today.
Yeah.
What are you guys looking at in Oklahoma?
I think it's kind of been cool. We haven't had any sunshine for like 10 days. It's been just rain and doom and gloom, man. Just nonstop almost.
And that's so strange because I just don't think of Oklahoma that way. I picture it as kind of dusty and wide open and
it's typically
blue skies.
Absolutely. No, July is typically, 75%. June is typically 75% blue skies and sunshine and maybe a little bit of rain here and there. But obviously the script has been flipped.
Yeah, the powers that be have chosen to make it rain, let's say.
I would argue that. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of weather modification going on. Yeah, for sure.
Fun stuff. Anyway, let's talk about some stories here, news articles going on around the world, and especially here in America. We had a congressional testimony today from the head of the Postal Service. And let me just play this clip here. This is him. Basically, Donald Trump passed an executive order recently that is requiring the Postal Service to verify that the people they're mailing these things to are citizens. Here, there's some C-SPAN.
The state refuses to turn their absentee voter list over to the federal government. Will the Postal Service still mail their ballots under this proposal route?
Under our proposed regulation, no. We would tell the state that we need to manifest in order to, look, what we're asking for.
That's the answer. You tell no. So the proposed rule basically coerces states to conform to these new requirements and hand over their absentee voter rolls or face the consequences of not being able to vote by mail. Some states, that's all they do. Oregon is completely vote by mail. If they say no, we control the list. The states control the list. We're not going to give it.
Oregon has followed Kit 600 since the day they started voting by mail.
This is a different issue. This will be a lot different issue. You're telling these states either give the federal government this information, trust the federal government, trust the Trump administration. We'll take good care of these. And if you don't do it, you can't mail absentee ballots. You're going to make it as
Oh, checkmate. That feels like a checkmate there.
Oh, of course. Well, we should trust the leftist hellscapes, right? We should trust them to do stuff that nobody does except for them, right? Count ballots for days and days and days and days, and then miraculously the person losing that's a Democrat all of a sudden becomes the winner, and the person that was winning gets 0 votes. 0 votes from all. It's just so absurd, man. So, you could flip the script and just say, oh, we're just supposed to trust the leftist hellscapes when it comes to federal elections. Think about that.
I know, it's funny.
We're not going to hold them accountable.
But I mean, California's not going to comply with this. Colorado is not going to comply. Oregon's not going to comply. So they're going to have in-person voting if they want to have an election, right? So watch out. This is going to get wild. This is going to get crazy.
Yeah, this is what we've been talking about, the two heads coming, to a head, basically, two worlds colliding. It's coming, man, because both sides are doubling down. The evil and the corruption is doubling down, and then those that are trying to restore America and make America great and have some transparency and some accountability and justice restored, they're getting ready to go head to head, man, and it's going to be an explosion, politically speaking and spiritually speaking.
And states are required by law to update their voting ranks, right, to keep them current. And if people aren't living there, if they've moved on, if they're dead, they have ways to check that out and find out and, take them off the rolls. And that's why they don't want to give it over to the Postal Service, because it's an outside entity that's going to look over their shoulder and see what they're doing. And if they're up to no good, which they know they are, then, they're in big trouble. So we have to be able to purge the voting rolls and then mail out the ballots. If you're going to do this willy-nilly, throw every ballot into 6 ways into the wind, and then see where they all come back. And like you say, Barry, they then can sit there and count them for the next week or 2 weeks. They can print a date on the letter. If they want to just put a date on there, they can do that. And suddenly it's a valid vote. What California did, the curing of the ballots. You've got stacks of these questionable ballots that are on the verge of being, is that a signature or not? It doesn't quite look right. They put them into 2 piles, the Democrat and the Republican. They take all the Democrat ones and they go out one by one to every single one of them and have them cure the ballot, fix the ballot. Do they do that for the Republican voters? I'm sure they don't. These are, special interest groups that are out there doing this stuff. And then, again, anybody can handle the ballots. You don't have to be, certified in any way to pick up stacks and stacks of ballots and move them around yourself. It's just shenanigans on levels that you can't even imagine. And so I love it. If they're going to do this, you got 2 stubborn sides. Both of them are, Trump's saying this is the future of our elections here. If we can't fix this while he's in office, we'll never have fair elections again. So they're dug in.
Oh, yeah. Anything that requires accountability is going to upset them. Anything that's going to prevent them from possibly being able to do shenanigans is going to really just turn them irate, because, they're counting on that because the tide has turned and most people don't want the socialist communist dictatorship that they want to bring in. I mean, of course, you could say, well, Mamdani just got 3 people that won that were socialist, Marxist, communists, or what have you. But did they really win? Or was that election stolen?
Well, I don't want to get into New York's elections. I'm sure they have them pretty much locked down to have any outcome they want. It's New York, right? It's a one-party system. It's just a matter of who in that party is going to get the power. And with Mamdani as the governor or the mayor, of course, he's going to be pushing things, towards his socialist friends in any way he can nudge a few votes, or a slight advantage one way or the other. His picks all won. It was a clean sweep, 3 out of 3 socialists that were running for the office, Democrat Socialist Party, won. And I'm telling you, folks, you don't understand how dangerous this is.
Oh, yeah.
You don't understand what these people are capable of. They are a nasty, nasty group, and they'll stop at nothing to implement, socialism in America, period. That's their goal. Tear it all down, build it back up as a socialist country, and watch our prosperity just go out the window,
Oh, yeah. Well, you said it before. I think, just compare a Mamdani to a Schumer or an AOC, who are terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. But these people trump those people when it comes to just being terrible and awful. I mean, and destructive.
Mm-hmm.
You said it, man, and you nailed it on the head with that one, because, man, AOC, she's a nut job. Schumer is corrupt, in my opinion. But these people don't even represent America, not even a shred of America.
Yeah, and they consider AOC to be like way too far to the right.
Yeah.
As crazy as she is, they consider her to be like way too moderate. Like she's not even saying half the stuff that they want to have her out there spewing. Like, calling for the overthrow of the Constitution, creating a new Constitution. Trump is right. The minute, and I mean the minute, the Democrats get in office, they are going to end the filibuster on the spot, right there, done. They're going to pack the court, the Supreme Court, heck, all the courts, but the Supreme Court especially, put in, term limits that are intentionally designed to, get rid of some of the Clarence Thomases of the world, and then put in place a just disaster nightmare of a new Supreme Court. Justices who won't even know what a woman is. If you could believe that. I mean, could you even imagine being in a world where a Supreme Court justice can't tell you what a woman is? I mean, we're there now.
That's right. That's right.
I
say we're there
now with Brown Jackson or Ketanji Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she was testifying. They asked her what a woman is, and she said, "I'm not a biologist. I can't answer that."
Yeah. Wow, it's a tough question.
How do you stand up for women's rights
if you don't know what a woman is?
How? How do you stand up for women's rights when any dude can throw on a dress and say, "Yep, call me Nancy"?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's nuts, and I love it when conservatives will sort of play into the woke agenda as a joke to show how foolish and ridiculous they are, like that trans wrestler that came to be in a trans fight, but he was too heavy and she didn't want him to be in there, and he goes, "Well, I identify as trans slender." And he was like calling her, bigot, racist, transphobe, and she didn't like it, obviously, because they really think they're defending these people, but in reality they're just causing chaos and dividing us, really, if you get right down to it.
Yeah, it's a way to really just tear the nation apart. And it's amazing to see like how much of a wonderful country we have, how much Europe is coming over here and just saying, "Holy cow, I had no idea." They see our stadiums and their jaws hit the floor, right?
Mm.
Have you seen the stadium that they're playing in Canada, in Toronto?
Mm-mm. No.
It looks like a really big high school in Texas, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Or a very small college somewhere. It's not impressive at all. And they're showing images walking down, the streets of downtown Toronto with people passed out on the ground, half overdosed, half dead. They've got, garbage everywhere. It's not safe. And they're saying, this guy from, where was he from? Like Peru or something? And he's saying, this is a third world country. He's like, Peru does not look like this. It's much, much, much nicer. He's like, he's shocked, just shocked. You go to America, you spend a week in Miami or whatever, and then you go up to Toronto and you realize the difference. And folks, Toronto and Canada, they're only 5-10 years ahead of us on this woke, dive, this nosedive headfirst in the cement. They are just a little bit ahead of us. Had Hillary Clinton won and Trump never came into office, that's what America would look like today. And many of our cities do look like that. It's just fortunate that these tourists, they're driving places. They're getting to experience small town America. And not just, what the U.S. team plays in L.A. this week. If you just go to L.A. and you go to the game and you have you're not going to see a really good side of America. If you get out of there and drive out to Vegas, to Arizona, to wherever, you're going to find the heart of the country, the heart of America. It's not in the big cities. It's all the small towns, medium-sized towns where everybody knows each other and it's safe and you don't need to lock your doors. That's the heart of America. And we've lost a lot of it. When I was growing up, nobody locked their doors. I'm sure, we got 3 people here in their 50s. I'm sure you can all attest to the same thing. We didn't really have to lock our doors when we grew up. Today, it's unthinkable. for most of America at least. But yeah, it is what it is, and we're just looking forward to just showing off the world, America, to the rest of the world, having that chance to really show everybody, how friendly we are, how you start conversations in the line at the grocery store, how you're kind to people, you help people. You see someone, needs help with the side of the road or something, people will stop, and half of them have a pickup truck full of tools and know exactly how to fix you.
Yeah, until they see that MAGA hat in the back, and if they're leftists, they slash your tires as they leave. I hate to be cynical about it, but the extreme left, and that's pretty much what I'm referencing. They really, if they did find out that you were MAGA, that would be a game changer for them. Do you know what I'm saying? If they were being nice to you before, they would change that very quickly because they think you're the problem.
Yeah. Or they'll, talk to a tourist and they'll say, "Wow, we love America. It's great so far." And they'll say, "Oh no, it's not. You shouldn't like it. It's a horrible racist place. Just a horrible place. Last place you'd ever want to be." And they can see. They have two eyes. They can see, so they know. Anybody with purple hair, just be very cautious of them. The nose rings too, I find are very good indicators of certain level of caution to be displayed.
It's not foolproof, of course, but it's definitely a red flag, or can be a red flag. I mean, you'd have to look for other signs, like wild-looking eyes would be a good one. Unkept, maybe smelly because they haven't showered as much, that kind of thing. Their countenance looks kind of rotten. They look kind of rotten. I'm just saying, being honest, you can really see the difference between the right and the thugs on the left. I mean, just if you were to set them, side by side, one really looks like, they're happy and they're glowing and they're shining. And then the other just looks like they're, angry at the world, angry at humanity, and angry at themselves. And I mean, it's visible. You can actually see it with your own two eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Trump derangement syndrome. It is real. It's a thing. People have it, and they need to just kind of touch grass, go outside, enjoy life a little bit. It's a beautiful country out there, and I'll say, even when our guy's not in the office, I still love my country. When we lose the presidency and we have a Joe Biden, I'm still loving my country, man. I still understand how good we have it here. And I understand as well that our system is pretty tolerant of radicals from one side to the other, and this pendulum that goes back and forth between the Democrat and Republican parties, and how one party opens the border, lets in 25 million people in 4 years, and then the other one shuts it down, gives it time to assimilate, gives it time to cook, and, get things figured out again, so we're not having utter and complete chaos like we were having at the end of the Biden term. I mean, remember New York City, all those hotels, all the chaos in the big cities everywhere. They were taking over civic centers and turning them into migrant camps. Mm-hmm. Haven't heard any of that. Chicago was doing that all the time. And, you hear the parents out there screaming bloody murder. What's my son going to do all day? And I'm not hearing that now.
I think what we learned from the shamdemic is just that if there ever is another crisis of that kind of magnitude, we know what to expect. And we know that there is a lot of people, predominantly on the left, but some on the right as well, but predominantly on the left, that really want to become tyrants and really want to assert their power and love having disdain for the people. I think we learned that. I think that's something everybody learned, whether they want to admit that or not. That may be a bitter, pill to swallow, but that's exactly what happened. And it will happen again because there is just a certain type of people that are drawn to like a form of absolute power, where they can lord over other people. You've even seen it in the workplace a little bit, like you get a hint of that. But this is something far worse than that.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go. You don't get off work, or you can't just quit your job. right? So,
yeah.
It's your country. Where are you going to go? We're the last bastion of freedom on the planet, you know?
Yeah. Well, hey, man, hopefully the 4th will just reignite some of that patriotism again. We have got to be a beacon to the world, man. And here's the thing. Look, we're like a beacon on the hill, but if we don't have the battery power to power it, or if we're just too lazy to turn the light on, then the people are going to continue to walk around in darkness. We got to light that thing up, man. We've got to light that lighthouse up, shine it out on the whole world, including everyone in America, and show people what it is like to love America and to be an America, and the kind of values that we have and the kinds of and what we believe in. And we got to let that thing shine, because the other side's doing their part, and they're going to tear down flags. They're going to riot, in my opinion, and they're going to do horrible things during the 4th of July celebrations. And it will begin even before the 4th of July. Watch, wait, and see, man. I'm not making this stuff up. I know I've got my finger on the pulse.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt it. It's been a pattern in the past. I mean, these Antifa thugs who just got, 450 years of jail for shooting a ICE deputy, that attack occurred on the 4th of July.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, there's precedent for it. It happens. But, the thing that people are going to see, I mean, we are host to a million people or something, I mean, in this country for the World Cup, or 500,000, whatever the numbers are. It's a massive number of people that are going to be here over the 4th of July, and their minds are going to be blown. They're going to think that this is something special we did just for the World Cup or something. They're not going to realize at first that this is just every year we go off on the 4th of July. I mean, again, find small town America that's going to have a parade somewhere, and, enjoy it in the mountains in a beautiful town somewhere. Don't go to New York City or whatever. I mean, you can, it's its own thing, but, if you really want to experience the love for America, stay out of the big cities, the big liberal cities, and go out into the heart of the country and see, just how far they take it. Every single house covered in red, white, and blue. It's incredible. I love it.
That's right. Yeah. Just right to the max. That's all I got to say. Just shine it. We have to outshine whatever plans they have. And I think we will. I don't even think that's going to be a problem. But, in the leftist hellscapes, there's going to be a lot of problems, with people trying to celebrate. They're going to get involved. They're going to try to interject. And there's already celebrations happening in D.C. I mean, Trump already got the ball rolling. I mean, we're already celebrating the 250th already. There's, festivities going on, fairs going on, all kinds of exciting things happening between now and the 4th, but not just to the 4th, but after the 4th. I've heard all the way through the month of July we're going to be doing this.
Yeah, the the America Fair, I forget what Trump was calling it, but they're having a, like every state has a fair. America is going to have a fair in Washington, D.C. this year that'll last like a month. It'll be incredible, right? Just another, fantastic thing to see America celebrating its 250th anniversary. I can't get enough of it. I can't wait. It's just what we live for, This is a major, major milestone, a quarter of a century.
Yes, sir. And if you're woke, just take
a quarter of a millennia.
Okay, there you go. If you're woke, just put aside your lack of faith, put aside your pessimism, put aside your doom and gloom, and just celebrate with us and see how it feels and see what happens after the fact.
Mm-hmm. And talk about the 4th, just ask people around you what it means to them, or what we're celebrating, especially the kids. Why are we out here, kids? Do you even know why we're celebrating America today? And just find out where their heads are at, what their schools have been teaching them. If they're, pro-socialism, and just, wow, you guys want to be socialist on the birthday of America? You want to, no, you got to celebrate America for what it is. Look, man, Russia has everything America has. It's bigger, it's got the same kind of farmlands. It's got, you name it, mountains, seas, oceans, borders the Atlantic and the Pacific. It has every single advantage. Why isn't it loaded? Why aren't they super rich in Russia? They're not, because they have a communist background. They're a communist country. They went down that road. They tried it, and it failed. Mm-hmm. America went with freedom and individual rights, and we came out victorious. It is just no comparison to look at Russia versus America. But anyway, folks, we got to take a break. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and we'll be right back after these messages.
All right, we're on radio break.
There you go, man. That was deep, huh?
Yeah.
Oh. And it's like, looks like it's just about to start raining, but it's not. But it really wants to start raining. You know, when you get the big gusts and you kind of feel it in the air, see the sky getting darker, and then all of a sudden, boom, the clouds go away and the sun comes out.
It's been pretty humid here today, so even though it's most likely in the mid to upper 90s, it probably feels over 100. So
I was feeling kind of muggy the other day, so I checked the humidity, and it was 19%.
Really?
I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble.
We got 60% humidity right now.
I would say, if you're interested in how weird the weather's been, check out some of the stuff on YouTube, man. They've been covering it. It's crazy, the stuff that's happening, especially if you look at it on a global scale. All kinds of strange weather, weird cloud formations, weird things in the sky, weird sounds in the sky, weird colors in the sky. Now we've had all the colors. We've had red skies, orange skies, and not like a sunset, but literally like just everything is orange. We've had blue. And of course there's always some logical explanation, but these things are happening in more frequency than they used to happen. And I think that's the thing that's kind of alarming. You know, they go, oh, it was some sandstorm, or it was this, or it was from that. But maybe it is, but maybe it's not as well, because the weird stuff just keeps happening. And it just makes me think things are being tampered with on some kind of a global level, because things are just totally ramping up. And go check out Mind Seated. You can check out Jason A. There's a lot of different people on YouTube, TikTok, and elsewhere that are covering the strange weather. You know, we're getting a lot of flooding as well. A lot of just flooding, and in places that they never had it before. We're having blizzards where they never had blizzards before. And, of course, they want to blame their weather modification on man-made climate change. And I definitely don't buy that one. So the alternative is clearly the more obvious, which is weather modification, which is on the record for decades that they've been doing it. And I feel sorry for Dane Wigington, who's just, poor guy, just wanted to power his solar panels, and he couldn't do it because of global dimming, And now he devotes his whole life to, exposing the chemtrails, geoengineering, whatever you want to call it, day and night, dude. And he is so, wrapped up in it. I don't think he has a life outside of it. And that's sad, but it's also noble. But at the same time, it's like he stumbled into that. He just wanted to power up his solar panels, and then he couldn't because of global dimming. Mm-hmm. And you know how it is once you go down the rabbit hole. You just can't stop. There's a new rabbit hole and a new rabbit hole and a new rabbit hole, and you're like, oh, I haven't been down that one yet. Next thing you know, you're diving like Bugs Bunny. I think I've been down most of them by this time. I don't know. I've been doing this for 20 years, so I've been down a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? There may be some new ones, but
30 seconds.
It's kind of at some point in time, it becomes a little much.
And here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition. We're talking about all the stuff going on in the world, in the country, with a special emphasis on America just being, a fantastic place. It's just a wonderful place to live. If we were to have open borders, like the left wants, there would be billions of people pouring into the United States trying to get a chance to live half the lifestyle we do today. It is unfathomable that you can just have a position of let's let everybody in and give them all citizenship immediately and just hope it works out. This is a big experiment. What they're doing, especially in England right now, it's unprecedented. It's never been tried. And it's a disaster so far. And yet they will look you in the eye and say, no, it's not. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened. But the world's waking up. And in Colombia, they just had an election on June 21st. Far-right lawyer Alberto de Esperiana defeated leftist senator, yada, 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 to become Colombia's new president. So Colombia now has another far-right leader, or a right leader. I don't know why they call him far-right. He's conservative.
Right.
And we've seen this domino now. U.S. aid was cut off to South America, to these different electioneering programs that were going on down there. They put an end to all that, and it's just been a domino of different leaders or elections going conservative. It's pretty impressive to watch.
That's right. When those funds get dried up, those slush funds, things can change for the better. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I do. It's a wonderful thing to watch. Now, the left-leaning guy, the Ivan Cepeda. Oh, Ivan Cepeda. That's actually not that bad. I thought it was okay. He's saying he's not going to accept the election results. Shenanigans. He's calling for all that stuff. And hey, it is what it is. Let's see. When Biden was in office, it was a peak of what they called the second pink tide, 2022 to 2023, when only 5 countries, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Paraguay, and Uruguay, stood outside leftist control. Since then, 13 of Latin's 18 major countries had left-leaning or center-leaning governments. Of those, at least 7 were openly socialist or further left. Now this is all switching around. Let's see here. We've got Colombia's Gustavo Petro, a former M19 guerrilla, I'm reading from Gateway Pundit, by the way, became the country's first left-wing president in its 212-year history. Shift back to the right has been reinforced by President Trump, who has forged strong relationships with many Latin American conservative leaders. The trend began with Milei in Argentina in November 23. Milei modeled much of his campaign on Trump rather than adopting the slogan, "Drain the Swamp." He wielded a chainsaw at rallies to symbolize his pledge to slash public spending and cut through government bureaucracy, earning him the nickname the Chainsaw President. Let's see. The blue wave continued through Panama, El Salvador in 2024, gathered momentum. 2025 with right-wing victories in Ecuador, Bolivia, Honduras, and Chile. Costa Rica added to that count in February 2026. Let's see. And then Colombia followed, 2026. Peru appears set to do the same with a conservative candidate. So pretty incredible. This is a big shift that we're seeing where, Central America and South America are seeing what's going on with places like Venezuela. You don't want to go down the Cuba route, right? Let's embrace freedom. And then you see what Milei's doing in Argentina. He's reinvigorating the economy. Everything's going great. Conservatism works. and they're seeing it. They're going for it, and it's happening, man. It's going to be a big change for this continent, you know.
I sure hope so. I mean, it looks that way for sure, right? But we got some good things happening here in the United States too, man. I know a lot of people are doom and gloom, but I am not, man. Especially after the Tulsi Gabbard videos that she's been putting out, man, and literally calling Obama, you know, part of a treasonous conspiracy and plot to basically go against the very will of the people. So she's basically calling him out as treasonous, you know. I think it's beautiful, man. And they're dropping the information, and the evidence is coming out, and there's all these documents that prove it. What does that mean? Does that mean he's going to be indicted at some point in time? I mean, it depends on if he continued to do it after his presidency, because I think he would have diplomatic immunity during his presidency, even if what he was doing was wrong and illegal and unethical. But yeah, I mean, things can turn around even more so here in America if we start getting arrest indictments and convictions, which I do believe are forthcoming.
Yes, I believe they're forthcoming. Like you say, Tulsi Gabbard is really dropping some generational headlines here, you know, really generational kind of stuff. This was a sitting president of the United States who sabotaged his predecessor, Donald Trump, and basically set him up for every type of crime that he could potentially, you know, make it look like he committed. The whole Russia thing, garbage, all of it, made up by the CIA, done by the intelligence agencies, you know, and enabled by the courts. It was the biggest scam. They impeached him over some of this garbage with Ukraine, when all he wanted from Ukraine was to know what was going on with Hunter Biden being on the board of their largest energy company, right? Making this massive $1 million salary. What's the deal with that? You know what I'm saying? We just wanted to know some pretty basic things that were very shady. And so they just impeached him over it. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. I don't know, man. It's this thing points right to Obama, like you say, and who would doubt that he did this stuff? He's a very vindictive dude. He's a power-hungry monster, you know? He'll do whatever it takes to get in power and hold it.
I want to say there's, you know, a couple thousand hours into investigating this whole situation, and President Trump and the Trump administration would not let the head of DNI go out and say literally that Obama was part of a treasonous conspiracy unless there were plans to do something about it. That is way too inflammatory. You know, I'm so tired of the woke right saying, oh, all they do is just expose it, but then we never get any arrests. First, you have to show it to everybody. They have to see it, then they have to understand it, and then we get the arrests, the indictments, and the convictions. There's no possible way you can drop what she has dropped in multiple videos and multiple appearances in the mainstream media without something coming from that, such as arrest, indictments, and convictions. Impossible, because everybody knows now. Not just everybody in America, the whole world knows that Obama committed treason. And that's not my words. Those are the words of the head of the DNI, or at least the former head of the DNI, since she's now stepped down. But she said it when she was the head.
Yeah. I mean, that's, like I say, that's a generational news story right there. You know, it's not even getting picked up by the left. And by the left, I mean, you know, the mainstream media. They don't even care. They announce something like this, treason.
I mean,
yeah, whatever.
It's true. I mean, that just shows you how far the mainstream fake news media has betrayed the American people and how partisan they are. And they're not partisan really towards the left. They're partisan towards the globalist, which just so happens to lean left. At one time, they used to lean right. They don't really care about left or right. They just want full spectrum dominance and total control over the masses. And then they want to use AI to do it. And that's the thing that has me really just frightened, is the whole AI thing. You know, I just hope that it all steers the right direction, because I think AI can be used in such a great way. I mean, all the stuff that it can do is just mind blowing, especially as it gets exponentially smarter.
Mm-hmm. exponentially scarier, quite frankly.
But at the same time, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. And so in the hands of the right people, it's going to be a wonderful thing. In the hands of the wrong people, it's going to be a horrible thing.
Yeah, and it'll get in the hands of the wrong people. Trust me.
Trust me. For sure, absolutely. I mean, they see this as their way to full spectrum dominance. And the globalists have said over and over and over again that the only reason that Hitler wasn't able to get world dominance was because he did not have the technology that we have today. And he said, whoever gets hold of AI and masters it will be the masters of the world. Or as we like to say, masters of the universe, because I think that's really how they see themselves. They see themselves more as gods than they do anything else.
Yeah, and it's frightening. They're not shy about it either. They really go out there. I mean, they have these meetings out in the open with the World Economic Forum and Davos and, the Bilderberg groups and all these world leaders that meet every year. And basically, right there, they just decide what's the price of corn going to be. What's the price of pork bellies? What's the price of this stock, that stock? Which companies are going to get ahead? Where to invest? How to manage your money, basically, for the next year in such a way that they're all coordinated, they're all doing the same thing, and there's not going to be any big surprise from one of them that throws everything into chaos for them. Because they like the power. They woke up rich and they went to bed rich. That's what they want to do tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. And there's a good number of them that have just basically come out and said they want to make us obsolete. Not in those exact terms, but essentially that's what they were saying when they're saying we won't be needed anymore. They're saying we want to make you obsolete because they're the ones controlling the direction of AI. And you don't have to control AI to make us obsolete. We don't have to go that direction. We don't have to use AI to dehumanize. It was Larry Ellison was the guy I was talking about. I think he's from Oracle, the Oracle CEO. He just fired 21,000 of his employees because AI is going to do it now. And he's the guy that said, well, we're going to control the masses and their behavior because we'll be able to track, trace, and surveil them all the time with AI. And that's their goal as well. They're now putting in cameras in the upcoming cars that are going to come out. They're going to have cameras that are watching you now, like 24/7. They go, but don't worry about it because it's just monitoring your eye movement. That way, if you go to sleep or something, we can alert you. But yeah, I don't think I want a camera staring at me 24/7 inside my car. I'll buy an old car before I ever go that route.
Or how about a cup of coffee? I'll buy a cup of coffee. How about that? You don't need that. I hate these new cars. I really do. I kind of despise them. There's just so much in it that is unnecessary. I just want an engine. I want brakes. I want four wheels and a comfortable seat. You give me those things, I'm pretty happy with a car. You know what I mean? I don't need sensors in every direction and a million things that can break. Heck, I had a friend of mine the other day had a problem with the sensor on his. It pretty much disabled his car. The sensor said his hood was open, or not his hood, his trunk.
Okay.
Or his boot, as you British. So it wouldn't let him go, get out of park.
Bummer, man.
Yeah.
You can't even override.
And it's shut. The thing's shut, but I can't get out of park because it's telling me it's open.
I've heard there's some similar problems with the Tesla as well. But all this reminds me of that movie WALL-E. Remember that cartoon? Everybody's just sitting down and having their drink and eating their food, and they're not moving and they're not doing anything. I mean, that's kind of the world they're creating for us, making it to where we're already bred to be lazy. So just imagine if they just provide everything. We don't ever turn on the lights. We're just like, hey, Alexa, turn on the lights. Hey, Alexa, cook that meal. Hey, robot, cook that meal. Hey, bring me the wheelchair so I can, wheel around in my house a little bit.
Yeah,
I just don't think that a lot of this is moving us in a good direction. They already got the mass majority of people lazy. So it's not going to be hard to sell them on this stuff because they'll say, oh, well, I just have to do less and make less effort and have everything still provided for me.
Yeah, we did that deep dive into the AI robots, the humanoid robots a while back. And it was just fascinating to me to think of the pace with which they're going to be making these things, the absolute reckless, they're going to make millions and millions and millions of them. And then once they have millions of them, then they can make hundreds of millions of them. They're going to be everywhere. They're going to be cheap and you'll probably own one in your life, or at the very least, you will lease one.
Yeah.
You may not own it, but you'll lease it. And the thing can theoretically pay for itself by just, I don't know, chopping wood and whatever. It's like, well, what do you want it to do? Like, just, do you want it to build you a house? Right? It doesn't sleep.
Well, I saw one now that's like 13 grand. So they're getting cheaper. And, probably as the parts become more available and they mass produce, the price will go down, and it may be cheaper than a car to have one robot. Some people may have 2 or 3 robots. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. And the imagination and just unlocking the possibility of what this thing can do for you. You know what I mean? It's got so much potential. Think of anything. Like, what would take you build a pyramid? You know what I mean? They wonder how they built the pyramids. We could build the pyramids again once these things are up and running, whereas we can't build them today. We could not, with the exact precision that goes into the pyramids in Egypt. We could not build one today. We don't have the cranes. We don't have the ability to lift the rocks that high, or to cut them with that level of precision. It's shocking, But we would once again, for the first time in 5,000, be in a situation as humanity to be able to take on projects that massive and pointless, basically. Just like throw, energy from the sun into a project like building a pyramid. It's wild, but we'll be able to do it.
I'm just not so sure, though, that 9 billion robots are going to integrate well into society, because the technocrats believe they're going to walk around the streets just like you and I. I don't know what they're going to be doing. Are they going to get, Java at the local Starbucks? What are they going to be? Why do they need to be walking around with us?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, robot, go get me some Taco Bell.
But what if they start malfunctioning? And look, the globalists have sold us that 9 billion people are too many people, that's crowded and we're overpopulated. Imagine now, 18 billion, because we got 9 billion robots too. I might actually agree with the globalists. That's too many, especially since they're robots. If they were people, I might be okay with it. I don't know, man. I've got questions. I don't want to rush into it. We know what their plan is. They pretty much told us. And I just don't think that we just need to, do a slam dunk with that. I think we need to cautiously go into that and see if that really fits what's best for America and best for the world. Because, and I know that we're not going to be able to stop robots, but do we really need 9 billion? 9 billion? I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of robots, man. And then on top of that, you're going to have how many drones flying above you? They basically, what about the natural organic world that we love? Is it going to be gone too?
Yeah, what do they cut every tree down and, harvest every plant? It's almost feasible at that, at some point when you have 9 billion of them running around. But, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a wild ride, and it's coming sooner than you think, folks. That's why we kind of bring it up so often, because it's only a few years out where you're going to start seeing these things going into, homes. Will be hard to get and pretty expensive, to do supply and demand at first, but then the prices will ultimately come down to nothing, where everyone can pretty much afford to have one if you want one. And I would think most people would want one, even if you just keep it in your trunk of your car and just only pull it out when you have a flat tire,
Oh, no. You can't do that, because that would be violating the robot's rights now. Come on. You can't put him in the trunk, man. That's just, it's in robot humane. I'm kidding, of course.
Barry, there's no such thing as in robot humane.
Well, I think they might want to give them citizenship, because you do know they're going to marry those robots, man. The people are going to marry robots. That's just a fact. You've already got people marrying trees and, marrying AI even without a body. Just imagine once they have a body. And, there's already groups that are working diligently to create robots that look very human-like with, skin and pleasurable and so forth. So people are going to marry. And that's going to be weird, isn't it? You're going to be on the subway and there's going to be somebody, holding hands with their robot. Do we really want that? I don't know, man. I'm just saying, maybe we can't stop it. But I think it's going to be a really strange world if things go wrong.
Yeah, that's quite an image, isn't it? But you'll see it, if you live to 10 years from now, you'll see that. Somebody holding hands with their wife robot or their waifu. Is that what they call it?
I don't know.
And living in, this parallel universe where that's normal and accepted. I mean,
right.
It's wild. We're going to see the world change so much over the next 5-10 years. It's like nothing anyone's ever imagined.
Yeah,
the level of change.
They're going to have to reverse the mental psyche of the people too, because we've all seen all the Terminators and every movie like it, and so we know we've seen the Matrix, we've seen the Terminator, we know that the robots can take over, and they've been telling us that anyway. So there's that problem as well. Just that one little small problem.
Yeah, little tiny problem.
We do have the military of nations all around the world, at least the big power ones, that are making, militant robots like DARPA makes here in the United States. And so we don't know how many of those they're making. And, it's just like things are going to move rapidly in the future, in the next, 40, 50 years. Things will move rapidly. And what I mean by that is change. Things are going to change. And I just want to keep a lot of the organic and the natural and the real and the human connection and the spirituality and our connection with God and the earth and all of that. But when you have a world of metal and steel and ones and zeros, that tends to sort of, suffocate the other.
Yep. Yeah, like you say, what will nature be like? What's it? It's going to be a wild, wild ride. But hey, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Let's talk about Censorshipsucks.
It's been a while.
He just resigned in disgrace. Oh boy, did I call it. Did we call it or what? I mean, I gave him that name the day he came into office. The first time I mentioned him, I said, Censorshipsucks. Mm-hmm. I knew what we were getting with this guy. I knew it. And the next guy ain't going to be any better. The crazy thing is, too, is he's talking about resigning. I'm resigning, I'm going to step down and do what's right. But in September or something, he wants to wait 3 months to do it. So get ready, England. The next 3 months with him yielding unchecked power on his way out the door is going to be quite fun for you guys, I think. You're going to have a lot of new laws and stuff coming down the pike here in the next few weeks or months. So that's kind of interesting, right? Why not? If you're going to resign.
But he might be trying to extend his power. Who knows? I don't think he really wants to step down. I think he likes being the leader, even if he's failing. He doesn't care about that. He just likes being the top dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the power, man. He loves the power. And doing the bidding of the New World Order, of destroying England.
Yep.
The once proud nation of England. Literally. They're banning their flags in certain towns because it's too offensive to foreigners. What country does that? Is there any precedent for that on the entire planet? Where a country said, hey, man, it's the World Cup. I know you guys want to fly your flag, but you can't fly the flag of your nation in, certain areas because we think, it's just going to offend people.
Yep. Well, those people want you to fly the EU flag, the whole European, like Bono did. Remember Bono? He took the EU flag when Trump kind of became, I think it was when he became the first president, and in the defiance of Trump because he hates Trump, Bono of U2 does, he flew the European flag, and then he tripped and fell and his voice went out, and it backfired on him big time. It was like maybe somebody was trying to tell him something. But it's the European flag for now, but then in the future, they would want a one world flag. You could fly that. They would say, you fly this one. It represents everybody. But of course, there's no way one flag can represent everybody because we're diverse. And the very thing that they say they're promoting, they would kill with the one world order.
Mm-hmm. I'm also reminded of Angela Merkel. She was celebrating some victory on the stage. Everyone's going crazy. Someone hands her a German flag, and she looks down at it, realizes it's a German flag, and immediately doesn't want it. Hands it away. Get that out of my hands.
Wow.
And that's the president of Germany won't hold a German flag.
Yeah, that's what we're up against, man. They really don't like national sovereignty, and as Macron said, he said that national sovereignty is the opposite of patriotism, which makes no sense whatsoever. But hey, that's the woke left for you, right? And they want to basically redefine truth to be whatever they want it to be at the moment. It's not like we're going to redefine truth in like a totally new, profound way. We're going to redefine truth as we go along, as we need it to be. Sort of like in 1984 when Winston was being tortured and he was told, hey, 2 + 2 = whatever we tell you it, whether it's 5, 10, or 6,000, it's whatever we tell you it is, because it's our truth.
On that note, we've got to go to break. Folks, this is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. We've got to take a break. Sorry about that, Barry. We'll be right back after this.
All right, we're on radio break.
That was perfect. I got it in too. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got everything in. Well, what's going on in the chat rooms today? Anything?
Not too much.
We haven't riled anybody up yet?
No.
Well, darn it. We haven't job then.
Let's go ahead and switch rooms out, and I'll see you back here after we get back.
All right.
All right. All right. That was hour 1 of Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. Coming up, more to come. Hey, Barry, welcome back.
Alrighty.
John, welcome back.
Let's play that clip of, I've got a 1:44 clip. We can cut it a little short if you want to, of Tulsi Gabbard literally saying that Obama committed treason.
Yeah, do it.
And
the whole thing.
Well, we got time, so go ahead and play it now to see if it comes through good.
Sure, absolutely, man.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, I'm setting this up with the Bluetooth. And we'll see what happens. Get this baby to pair up with the old phone here. Come on. All right, we are connected.
I'm just going to make tonight a 3-hour show. John, you back? And I'm going to use. We'll take like at the top of the hour, like 5 minutes, like we normally do. For
okay, after the second hour, you mean?
No, on the second hour we take a 10-minute break, but we'll take a 5-minute break and go into it, and then at the 25-minute mark we'll take another break. On that hour, on the new hour, and then come back and finish out. And then I'll get Nancy up and rolling. You got it there? Let's hear
I'm
it.
just on it here. Just got to hit a couple more buttons. That's weird. It doesn't want to. There we go. Here we go.
Directed by President Obama.
Okay, it's coming through good.
To office after.
Got it.
It's queued up and ready to go. Good levels and everything. Should be about the same as my voice, actually. Right around there. It's pretty amazing. I mean, she's been dropping the truth bombs about Fauci, about Obama. I just don't see how it can go nowhere, because now the cat's been let out of the bag and you just can't do nothing about it. And if the Trump administration planned on doing nothing, they would not allow her to go around saying that stuff. And people go, well, they don't have the power to do that. Really? You don't think President Trump has the bully pulpit and he can pretty much put pressure on if he wants to? Yes, he could. He could pretty much get her to be quiet. And if he was, maybe she would say so too. And she hasn't. So she's just freely saying all this stuff, which to me means it's leading to something
to me,
greater.
I don't think that she would be saying that unless she got the green light to do it. All right?
Exactly.
She's not going to do that. She's, she knows how to take orders. She's an officer in the Army, I think.
I would imagine it's classified information too.
But anyways, she knows what she can and can't do. And if she ever wants to have a chance at running for president, of course she's going to play the game.
Yeah.
Which I really think it'll be a her and Vance, or Vance and her.
Well, that might be an interesting mix,
Yeah.
That's what kind of what I'm seeing right now. But or the feel that I get.
Well, I would much rather have Vance and Tulsi than neocon Mark Rubio. And granted, I mean, he turned out to be a little bit better than I thought he was, but I don't know that he's really. Maybe he's just an opportunist. You know what I mean?
He is. Come on.
I still see it as a
are.
neocon. Yeah. And he's done a great job, so far as representing Trump in many ways. I'm sure he's made some mess ups as well. But
I think Rubio's goal, when it's said and done, is he wants to retire as what is it? They got
some kind of honors.
No. One of those ambassador to Cuba. I really think that maybe that's his end goal.
Ultimate goal. Yeah.
Since his family's from there. Well, we got a little over a minute to go yet, so.
Very good.
Yep.
And John, we got the clip queued up for any time you want to roll it. So,
okay. Yeah, let's we'll dive right into that.
This is kind of really like what we've talked about. This is like kind of something under Trump's belt that we can celebrate going into the 4th of July, knowing that more is going to come from this. I think that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's encouraging because we know what they did. We've known what they did for a decade now.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, John, to what she says too, so we can really dissect.
Okay, we got
that.
less than 30 seconds, so
It's pretty hardcore. She doesn't she doesn't pull back any. I mean, you know what to do.
You have a written transcript of it too.
Here's your countdown: 5.
I got a piece of paper.
4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back live for the second hour of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. Wednesday night edition for June 24th, 2026. Off to the races. We are almost there, folks. The 4th of July is coming up right around the corner. A week from today will be the 1st. Next Saturday is the 4th on a weekend, which kind of sucks. We were talking about it. And, you don't get a day off. Everything's great about it being on a Saturday, except for the fact that you don't get a day off. Or at least most people don't.
Yeah, an extra day.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'm always one of those people that, I don't know. I like it. I'd rather do stuff when no one else is there. Yeah. Like, I try to avoid the crowds. I don't go to, a big amusement park on a busy Saturday in the summer. You want to wait until it's a little bit colder or whatever and try to get there when there's not going to be a million people there and you can actually, enjoy it yourself. I always would, like when I lived in Los Angeles, you'd go up to, Mammoth for the weekend or up to the mountains. And it just was, it's crazy. Los Angeles is just 10 million people trying to all do the same thing at the same time at all times, right? They all go to the same places on the weekends. They go to the, same vacations. They wait in line behind the same dude that you waited in line behind the, Burger King 2 days ago, right? It's just a never-ending series of lines that you have to wait in. And I don't know, that drove me crazy. That kind of lifestyle is rough, but it's what most people have to do. They work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. They have rush hour traffic both ways. I always tried to go into work extra early and leave maybe early or late and avoid traffic. I mean, it makes you look good to your boss, but at the same time, I just don't want to sit in traffic for 2 hours when I could sit at my desk for an extra hour and, have a 20-minute ride home instead of an hour and 20-minute ride home. But, that's just me. So we've got a lot of stuff going on in the world. We talked a little bit about Tulsi Gabbard and her basically burning down some bridges on the way out the door as Director of National Intelligence, DNI. And Barry, you've got a clip. So let's play that.
Yeah. Here we go.
This are frankly nothing short of historic. Over 100 documents that we released on Friday really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office, after President Trump had already gotten elected. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious it should concern every single American because it has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. What we saw occur here, as the documents we released detailed, was that we had a sitting president of the United States and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election, that the American people had chosen Donald J. Trump to be the next president commander-in-chief of the United States. And so they decided that they would do everything possible to try to undermine his ability to do what voters tasked President Trump to do. So creating this piece of manufactured intelligence that claims that Russia had helped Donald Trump get elected contradicted every other assessment that had been made previously in the months leading up to the election that said exactly the opposite, that Russia had neither the intent nor the capability to try to, quote unquote, hack the United States election for the presidency of the United States. So the effect of what President Obama and his senior national security team did was subvert the will of the American people, undermining our democratic republic. and enacting what would be essentially a years-long coup against President Trump, who was duly elected by the Americans. The implications of this are frankly nothing short of historic. Over 100 documents that we released on Friday, really detailed.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah. I was just trying to stop it. It was not working, but I don't know. She said conspiracy, but I didn't hear it that time around for some reason. But she literally said that
conspiracy. Yeah, she said it.
Okay, she did. I missed that.
Mm-hmm. Committed by Barack Obama to, take down the duly elected president of the United States. It was obvious from the get-go that that was all bunk. And now they've got the proof, hundreds of pages of documents. And, am I seeing any headlines about this? I saw, headlines about her releasing it. Now I see no coverage of it.
I think Obama's people responded to it, but what they said basically was it was wild conspiracy and conjecture, but it doesn't sound like wild conspiracy and conjecture to me. It sounds like lots of deep research, lots of documents, evidence, and proof, and you don't make those kind of claims unless you can back them up.
Mm-hmm. And a former president, calling him treasonous?
Absolutely. That's right. That's right.
We all know what the punishment for treason is. Just to be clear, it's death. Or at the very least, life in prison. And that's what we need to see, folks. We need to see people going down on this stuff. They've made up the Russian dossier. Hillary Clinton, all this people, they've made it out of thin air and then spread it like it was this breathtaking revelation that Russia really wanted Donald Trump in there over Hillary Clinton. Now, ask yourself, why would they want Trump over Clinton? Clinton would roll over for them as she's another communist. She's their best buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they want Trump, who has been incredibly hard on Russia?
Oh, he has. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So they didn't even have a motive to do this. And yet they played it like it was just a fact. And I'll tell you what, the reason Ukraine has Russia invading it, I think stems from all this. Because they've been calling Russia the boogeyman, the bad man, Russia's the worst, the meanest, for years and years and years, without really much provocation from Russia to do so. And so Russia finally said, you know what? They hate us so much. Why not just take back Ukraine? They already hate us, right? No matter what, we're not going to lose any reputation over there. So they did it, I think. I mean, I kind of tie a clear path towards the two, the demonization that they, Russia, Russia, Russia. Okay, they think we're that bad. Let's be that bad. Why not? Let's play the bad guy. Let's take back Ukraine, which which they consider part of their country anyway. So, hey, I'm shocked that Ukraine is still a thing. That Russia didn't just roll them over inside of a month.
Well, I mean, they had a lot of support. The Ukraine government did, and a lot of that money, of course, we are pretty confident that a lot of that was laundered. I believe even Zelensky admitted that a lot of the billions, he didn't even know where it went. So there's a lot of sketchy things that go on with war because there's profit involved and a lot of reason to keep them going. And those people don't really care about human life. They believe it's expendable so that they can gather up and garner more power, money, wealth, and status for themselves. And that's really the stain that's on planet Earth, are those kind of people that have lost their humanity and they really don't feel anything whatsoever. Because you do know, like in war, children and innocent women die in the most brutal and horrific ways. And it's just bad across the board, even when they're justifiable. They're just brutal, hard to bear, something I wish we could get beyond, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, look at the division that this has caused in America. If they'd have just let Trump do his thing and didn't, try to paint him to be this evil traitor. And, people who hate Trump, this is the root of their hatred for Trump. They thought all this stuff was real. They thought everything that they were hearing from the left all these years was not lies. And so they bought into it, and they've hated Donald Trump with a passion for the whole time, for the last decade. Ever since he came down that escalator, and it's just a shame. Obama was truly the most divisive president that America's ever seen. America is so much more divided than it was before he came into office, and he did it in every single way he possibly could. I mean, he destroyed our healthcare system. I could tell you the example of how much my health insurance went up after Obamacare came out, and it was ridiculous. It went up 5x, right? 5x.
Mm-hmm.
The Affordable Health Care Act. Yeah, Jesus, man. If there's people out there paying, $20,000-$30,000 a year for health insurance now for, a healthy family of four, and it's ridiculous. That is just, he destroyed that. He destroyed so much of this country. The unity, the health, the growth that we were on. I was watching the other night a old Michael Jackson video from when he played the Super Bowl, and man, it was just, his whole thing was just all about unity and everyone coming together. And, I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, remember that song?
That's exactly right. Yeah. It's a good.
It was just a different world back then. It really was.
Yeah. We were healing, and then Obama came in, and then of course stoked the fires of racism again, and through race baiting and different techniques like that. And it's so strange watching him celebrate the opening of his, Panopticon prison center. I'm sorry. Yeah. I meant Presidential Center, not Panopticon Prison Center. I'm sorry. I messed up there. But let's not forget, he subverted the will of the people and committed conspiracy to basically keep Trump from becoming the president, man. At least that's what the evidence is saying, according to DNI former head Tulsi Gabbard. So, and then you look at the Holly weirdos and all the elite gathering around the Panopticon prison, and then of course the Obama administration. Well, the Obama people, they said, Christina Aguilera, will you please sing "It's a Wonderful World" for us by Louis Armstrong? I mean, they're the ones that have created a horrible world. So for them to just gaslight like that, it's just so. I think that day is coming to a close. I think people realize it. And who are the people celebrating the opening of this Panopticon prison of Obama's? It's the elite. It's all the elite, all these elite that hate America, that love Marxism, communism. They love China more than they love America. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, and the wording on that thing, first of all, it looks like a garbage can. But the wording, he has some speech of his, like, in the side of it, near the top. And I, for the life of me, can't read what it even says. Right? I've paused it and I'm looking at it. It all kind of rambles together. There's no spaces in it. And so it is god awful ugly. I can't believe, he did that. I just can't believe who looked at that design and said, this looks good. Let's go with it.
It looks kind of like a factory plant for like making dog food or something, but a big one, a really big one. I mean, I got to give it credit for that.
It looks like a Bond villain's like hangout,
Could be. I think what Trump should do is, if he's found guilty of treason, they should turn his presidential center into a Panopticon prison center and put all these people that have committed treason and crimes against humanity in it. Turn it into a prison.
Oh man, could you imagine? Put him in there.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, he would love it. I mean, it's his presidential center. We could still we could call it the Obama Panopticon Prison Center.
I hate to say it, it would make a really good prison. It really would.
I'm getting an AI idea just right now. I really am. It's coming to me.
Yeah, the Gitmo on the lake.
That's it. A meme is forming even as we speak.
It's not a bad idea. There's so many people that we could fill it. Right? If they get everyone that was involved in this stuff, everyone that actually committed crimes, you could fill that thing with prisoners. It really would happen. And I'll tell you, it's amazing. Joe Biden, I don't think he's even raised a dime for his presidential center yet.
Doesn't surprise me for some reason. I think maybe they've just forgot about Sleepy Joe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to get a presidential library in anywhere close to his lifetime, at least. Right? Maybe, by the time Hunter is 90 years old, he might have one. But, yeah, it's kind of funny. Whereas Trump has already got the land set aside. He's already got everything. He's probably got the permits pulled. He's ready to go. He's got the money. And the day he leaves office, that thing will break ground, and it'll probably be up within, 6 months to a year of him being out of office.
And the left will say it's the ugliest, most hideous thing ever. I mean, can you believe the hideous presidential center that Trump created? And it'll be just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I've seen the 3D renderings of what he has in mind, and it is truly one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. It's like it's the atrium, and it goes up all the way to the top of this high rise. You know what I mean? So it's like a 30-story atrium inside there. So it's all clear, it's all open. You can see through the thing. It's like no high rise I've ever seen, because no one would ever build a high rise like that. Because you don't have any function to it. You know what I mean? You can't have an atrium that goes up through the entire high rise. It's a total waste of space. But yet this is form over function, and it's absolutely drop dead gorgeous, Barry. If you haven't seen that, go look for it, man. It's a really cool 2-minute video.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Wow. And it'll be packed like all the time, because be such a spectacle that people will want to go inside and see what it's all about. Even people that probably hate Trump will want to go in because everything Trump does is about excellence. And the only reason he hasn't achieved more than he's already achieved, which he's achieved quite a bit, actually, when you consider he's only been, a year and a half in office, but he's been sabotaged so much, a lot of that has been hindered. Just imagine if we were back to the old days and, whenever the opposite party was in power, we would still support them. You know what I'm saying? When it came to doing good things, and we would rally around the president. That would be so great, instead of trying to sabotage Trump, demonize Trump, and make sure that he fails. But they want to make sure he fails for the very sole purpose of they want the pendulum to swing back so that in 2028, they'll have the presidency and hopefully swing the House and the Senate in 2026. That's why they are sticking with their demonization agenda of Trump. Every chance they can, they're going to sabotage him and demonize him. That's their full agenda.
Yep. And, hating Trump is not enough to really run a government, right? It's not a policy you can win an election with, I don't think. I mean, people are. Look at these commies in New York, It's a big day for the communist world with what's happening in New York City. It really is, and it's sad, because that is like the heart of capitalism in America. And I'll tell you, at this pace, they're going to lose the New York Stock Exchange. It's just a matter of time. The financial markets will leave New York, and they'll go to, God only knows, Tennessee, Miami, wherever they go, though. They're taking billions upon trillion dollars with them. They're taking so much money, it's almost unfathomable to think about, And all of that is going to leave New York and going to go somewhere else. I mean, some of it will always be there, of course, right? There's a lot of businesses that are headquartered in New York, but it's just going to slowly not matter as much anymore. And it's going to become just a shell of the city. It's going to have more and more. I remember a few years ago, Louis Rossman walking around New York doing these, live streams where you just go walk around, Manhattan and show you empty business after empty business, empty. And, the prices that these people were asking was astounding, $100,000 a month to rent this place, crazy money. And they were not lowering the prices, even though everything was empty, because they were just stubborn. They knew, they couldn't do it. The neighborhood would revolt if suddenly they, took a tenant in at a really low price. Now that's a comp for the rest of the neighborhood, and everyone's screwed. So you can't do that. And, that's what it'll look like. It'll just become more and more empty storefronts, more graffiti, more trash, more rats, more of all the bad stuff, more homelessness, you name it. It's sad to see, but I don't know if they've got a way out. If they're going to go full communism, man, you're going to lose a lot of your people because they're not going to want that. And we are truly 50 unique individual states, and each state can do its own thing. That's the beauty of America. And for a long time, New York was the place to be. It was the center of the business world. But then they got greedy, and they decided to tax more and more and more and take more and more and more until people start finally saying, no, enough is enough. Chicago's seeing the same thing. People are leaving there and taking all their money with them and going to places like Florida and Texas and Tennessee. And you can't just bounce back from that. You have to realize the error in your ways so that you can't go down that road anymore. Everyone needs to agree that this can't happen again. And then you can bring a city back to life. But on that note, let's take a break, folks. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and we'll be right back after these messages.
All right, we're on radio break.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, I almost have to sit down for a second. Since we're going 3 hours, I got to sit down just for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. I'm going to throw a couple drops of Tabasco on my tongue.
Yeah. Now, at the top of the hour, we're only going to take a 5-minute break, all right? And then go. And while we do that, we're going to switch rooms, bring it back fresh.
Yep.
And David's going to try to come in with us, too.
Mm-hmm.
David does some political stuff, too, so go ahead and talk to him about politics as well. He don't beat around the bush.
Yeah, that'll be good. Barry, I'll let you run point on the third hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Point guard. Me and LeBron, I'm just kidding, man. I don't think LeBron James is the GOAT at all. It's MJ. MJ's the GOAT. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Michael Jordan, people don't realize how good he really was.
I can't even believe LeBron thinks he could even compare himself to MJ. I mean, just look at the moves that MJ had. Unbelievable. I don't even care what the stats say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I know is that what Michael did, Kobe probably came the closest, but he wasn't MJ either.
Yeah.
He could slam dunk.
No. The Harlem Globetrotters. Meadowlark Lemon, man, could have done it all.
That's right.
Dude, one time I had courtside seats to a basketball game where we were playing the Bulls, and I got when they came out, they were about 3 feet away from me, Yeah. So I stood right next to Michael Jordan, looked him in the eye. I mean, he was 2 feet away, and I was blown away because he was my height.
Really?
I was going to say, you weren't looking him in the eye because he's like 6'7".
No, he's like 6'2".
No,
I swear to God.
we gotta ask AI on that one.
Yeah, ask AI.
I mean, he might be 6'3" or something, but he's not like I wasn't like cranking my neck to look at him.
Come on now. It was the shoes that you had on. All right. So yeah, those platform, shoes, with the fish in them and all that. Yeah, there you go. Well, what a night.
Did you Google it, or do I need to?
I'm looking right now.
I'm looking.
6'6".
No way. Was he really?
Yeah. Well, that's what they listed his height as. You never know. Sometimes they list it higher than it actually is, so it could be 6'5", maybe.
I didn't think he was that tall. I swear to God, I didn't meet him, but I was standing like right next to him once.
I mean, if you're 6'2", and you might feel like you're
pretty close to it. Yeah. Yeah,
I guess. But no, I was expecting him to just be much bigger. But to be able to do the things he does, it's insane.
Oh, I know. It's just so much finesse and grace. It was amazing to watch, and I just don't even think the NBA is anything what it used to be either.
No, it's not the game it used to be. Same with hockey. you know, in a lot of other sports.
You got Jeremy Lin and Shaquille O'Neal both admitting that games are fixed. I mean, it's on video, dude.
Well,
I mean, it's fixed, dude. I hate to say that because that kind of ruins it for the fan. You know?
30 seconds, guys. You got any more clips, Barry? Are you saving them for the next hour?
Sure.
Oh, God. I'm going to go pee. I'll be back in.
All right. Well, you know, we'll let Barry bring it back. Here's the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Wednesday night edition. Folks, we're on every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We're also on every Sunday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time as well, right here on this channel. So come back and check us out on Sunday as well. It's a little bit different on Sunday. We try to have more fun and just, you know, treat it like the end of the weekend versus a serious Wednesday where we have to cover the news.
There you go.
Yeah, so let's see here. We've got more on this socialist overlord, Mamdani. Now, they're apparently wanting to run him for president. And they're basically saying, we don't care if he wasn't born here. We want him as our president. And, you know, what are you going to do about it kind of thing? Right? They're challenging it, saying, what are you going to do about it? We're going to run him, he's going to win, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, because we don't care about the Constitution. We don't care about the rule of law. We just sort of make it up as we go along, and you'll go along with it because we got a good plan for you. We're going to enslave all of you, and you're going to love it, too.
Oh, you're going to love it. It's the good kind of enslavement, folks.
Oh, yeah. Was there any other kind? I mean, come on, right? Is there any other kind of enslavement but the good kind? I mean, I can't wait to be enslaved, told what to think, told what to do, told where to go, told where not to go. I mean, that'll be wonderful.
Oh, yeah. What to eat.
Sure.
And what to eat. Crickets, I mean, and worms.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're going to eat.
They're forcing us to, you know, expand our horizons. It's wonderful, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Happy 4th of July. Here is CNBC. We had Joe Kernan interviewing Senator Lisa Blunt. Lisa Blunt Rochester, I think is her whole name. Yeah. Listen to this with response to these socialists winning.
Where has socialism ever worked, Senator?
Is that another question, or is that for the next interview?
That's definitely for you. You said fish doesn't work everywhere. I just want to know one place where socialism has been beneficial.
Well, when you have me come back on, we can talk about all the races across the country.
Yeah, have me back on, and I'll tell you where it worked. I mean, folks, they can't even name one place where it's worked. You know, you'd think they'd have this, you know, standard like Scandinavian answer out there, which, by the way, Finland, Norway, Sweden, they're not socialist countries. They have stock markets. They have publicly traded stocks. They have, you know, it's not socialism. And they take great umbrage when we say that they are socialist, because they are not. So where has socialism ever worked is the great question. And people might say, well, look at China. What a powerhouse they are, you know? Yeah, do you want to live like that? You know, that place is a hole. It is a disaster. It's all a facade. It's all fake. Everything China shows you, if you look past the surface, it's garbage. You know? And, I mean, I've watched ADV China channel for years now, years and years. I'm big fans of theirs. They've been to every corner of China. They've shown, you know, so much footage of what that country actually is like. And sure, it's got some great aspects to it, but it's also got a whole lot of nasty, really bad stuff going on. I mean, buildings that just fall over. you know, houses that crumble, infrastructure that looks great, and then all of a sudden it just breaks apart, and it's all a facade. And by the way, the people have no freedom whatsoever. You know, how many Chinese people are coming for the World Cup, right? If you're part of the party, you can be trusted to leave the country. Maybe you can go, but the average Joe on the street there, not a chance. Save up all you want. You're never getting out of the country.
Well, who doesn't love social credit scores and 24/7 tracking, tracing, and surveilling, and, you know, being a good model citizen or be punished? Who wouldn't want that?
Oh, exactly. And that's exactly, man, they're doing it. Keir Starmer is doing this in the UK. On his way out the door, he's implementing these digital IDs, which are going to be tied to your ability to get internet access, to be able to get a job, get any kind of public services, you name it. You better have your little, you know, card, your little digital ID, and you better be in good standing too.
That's right.
Because maybe that, you know, joke you told on the internet isn't so funny, and now we're going to put a little ding on your electronic ID. And so when someone tries to hire you, they know that you have a, you know, certain sense of humor that may not be appreciated on Westminster.
Yep. They have one goal, and that's to micromanage your life and to get you to be faithful to the state, whether they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want transparency, but they want you to be transparent so they can watch everything you do, but not them. Oh, no, they get to have their little secret meetings and shadowy meetings and do whatever they want to do and not have to be held accountable. But for us, the people, you know, we're the serfs.
There's sex islands, you know, all that good stuff.
Which go completely behind the curtain that nobody knows about. I mean, we kind of know a little bit of some of it because they don't hide it all, but the really bad stuff they have to hide. I think, you know, like whatever, all the prostitution goes up at Davos every year whenever the elite come in, because they're definitely, you know, having those kind of expensive, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 call girls per night. And the call girls have admitted it, that they're hooking up with these elites. So they don't, you know, it's good business.
They fly them in from all over the world on private jets, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So they admit that, but they're not going to admit to anything else that's like worse than that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could talk beef jerky or whatever.
Yeah, but where has socialism ever worked is a really good question that there is no answer to it. There's nowhere on earth you can point to and say it really worked well here. You know, because it's a dictatorship. It's just another form of dictatorship. And where has that ever worked? Right? So every now and then you get a benevolent dictator, but the vast majority, it's the worst place you can possibly live. And, you know, Earth hasn't seen free people like the United States. It was a complete experiment. The United States of America was an experiment in self-governance that worked out like magic. Nowhere else really has the level of freedom that we do. That's why I say it's the last bastion of freedom. We can't lose it in our lifetimes. We can't let it just slip away, because if it's gone forever. And then what are you left with? You know, you're left with, we're now Cuba. And whatever car you have now, you better get to like it, because you're going to be driving it for the next 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that if we can have a big celebration on the 4th of July, man, I think it's going to make a big difference in the direction that we go. I really believe this 4th of July is a big deal. I would say look in your local area, find all the different celebrations that are happening. Bring your bullhorn, bring your excitement, bring your voice, you know, have a good time, because we need to have the power of the people come together, right? So we need unity, and that will, all this kind of thing will bring forth change, because we need to have that human connection again as well. You know what I'm saying? We need to just kind of reconnect with everything that we value. That's what the 4th of July should be about this year. Let's reconnect with each other. Let's reconnect with America and what it stands for. Let's reconnect with our values, and let's bring about some unity. Let's make this be something important.
Yep. And I got a little clip here from Hannity. Stephen Miller speaking about what we're talking about right now. This is good stuff. This is the message going into this year's election and the next election, just for as far as we can see with what's going on in this country.
That's the communication challenge that we all have together, Sean, which is to explain to the American people that Democrats you grew up with, the Democrats that your mom and dad grew up with, the Democrats that your grandma and grandpa grew up with, do not exist anymore at all, not at any level of government. A vote for any Democrat anywhere for any office is empowering a party that wants to strip this country to the bone, to take away our security, our defense, our way of life. You know, just tonight, Sean, I saw a Democrat member of Congress online defending the Antifa terrorists in Texas who were just jailed for shooting an ICE officer. They shot an ICE officer. They were charged with terrorism, and a Democrat congresswoman was defending the Antifa terrorists.
Yeah, right?
I mean, the evil's just showing their face right out in the open to everybody. It's bizarre, man. They're not hiding it anymore, dude. I mean, to celebrate the Antifa thug who was a murderer, just like people are celebrating, what's his name, Carmelo Anthony, and his brutal murder.
Yeah, because the other dude, stabbed himself. He grabbed his hand and pushed the knife into his chest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, believe me, Stephen Smith from ESPN, he even commented on the podcaster that made that comment, because he did it in such a way that, anybody that's just easily brainwashed and doesn't do any research might actually believe it. And Stephen Smith was like, that is nowhere near the truth whatsoever. There's no evidence of that. That's just basically fabricated. But that's what they do, is they just fabricate things and make things up as they go along to try to demonize Trump, to try to demonize America, to try to demonize anybody that wants to make America great.
Mm-hmm. And now keep in mind that was actually his defense attorney that came up with that theory in court. Right, so that was part of his defense.
It's spread. It's all over the internet now, and then I think people have adapted it and made it even more crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, how bad is your lawyer when that's your defense? He got a public defender. They raised $600,000-800,000 for his legal defense, and they blew it all and got him a public defender.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And so that's what you get, folks. This guy was toast the minute he got a public defender, right? There's no way any public defender like that is going to put on, a wholehearted defense for you, especially when you're guilty. He just looks at you and says, "My Lord, you did this, didn't you? How am I going to really defend you when you did it?"
Mm-hmm. How are we supposed to have tolerance for, this kind of it's a madness, of course. It's lunacy. There might be a little bit of mental illness and insanity involved, but it's also like extremely evil. So how could anybody in their right mind, how do you even relate to somebody that's on that level? Because they're not going to want to hear the truth, right? They're not even going to allow you to speak the truth, man. Just look at when the mainstream media interviews somebody that's dropping truth bombs. They are talking over them every second of the way because they just don't want not only to hear the truth themselves, but they don't want the public to hear the truth ever because they want to keep their narrative going. And that was the whole plan in the shamdemic of censorship, was so that they could keep their narrative and their lie going. And now we know that Fauci was lying about a number of things, and Rand Paul is still coming at Fauci. In fact, Fauci said he would appear, and then now he's backing out of it. So now I believe there's a subpoena to where he has to appear, and I believe it's going to be, I want to say, it's soon. Within the month, he'll be appearing. I can't remember the exact date, but he is appearing. He has been subpoenaed. And like I said, we really need to honor. The 4th of July needs to be a time that we honor like people like Tina Peters, who suffered in prison, right? They put her in solitary confinement for 4 or 5 times. It turned out that, the prison cells in that area were basically full, the women prison cells, but they made sure she got into a prison, that she got out of the jail system and into a prison, which is much more brutal. And it turns out that the person that was running the prison wasn't the warden, but somebody else, and was a Satanist, she said. She said the person had Satan symbols all over his or her office. I can't remember if it was a man or a woman. Wow. And that she literally made her life hell because she believes that she got orders from on high to make her life hell. And she did. They made her life hell, man. They threw her, in solitary confinement 4 or 5 different times. And then when somebody hit her, they made it like it was her fault. I mean, they just came after her in so many ways. And she was strong. She was educating the prisoners. She was because they were violating the prisoners' rights as well. I mean, this is a real hero. This is somebody who doesn't cower to evil. This is somebody that is a real conqueror and an overcomer, even in the worst of situations. And now she's been released, and she's not retreating to get better. She's back in the battle fighting full force. I mean, we need to honor these people. We need to honor people like Nick Shirley. We need to honor people that have been speaking the truth for decades. Even if they've gone a little astray, we still need to honor them. We need to celebrate them because these are the people that have kept America alive.
Yeah. Even if they've gone astray, that reminds me of Tucker Carlson a little. Is that who you were referring to?
I was thinking of people like that, Tucker and Alex. I mean, I don't think they've gone completely astray. I think they've deviated from the path a little, if you know what I'm saying. People like Nick Fuentes, he's completely gone astray. That guy. And Candace Owens, in my opinion, I don't know. She's gaining more and more ground and more popularity, which I find to be astonishing because she is so out there. She is different than Nick Fuentes. They're both just, in my opinion, shock jocks.
Yeah, well, they found a clique that they can, cater to. And, it's a pretty vile corner of the internet, but they're willing to go there and trudge in it. So good for them. I mean, it's, hey, she's free to do what she wants. But if she wants to, sound like a moron, then go for it. But I mean, the stuff she's saying about Erica Kirk and Charlie and all that is just repulsive. Just repulsive. And I used to like Candace. She used to be, pretty reliable source of commentary.
Well, I don't know. Maybe money talks and everything else walks. I don't know. Maybe that was a big part of why she felt like she had to go that direction. Maybe she really believes it too. I don't know. I'm not trying to get inside her mind. I really don't want to get inside her mind. But she's definitely, in a lot of people's opinion, including my own, gone astray. Like astray. Not just a little bit, not just, losing course, but, and people like Nick Fuentes, they basically, I think he's like a Democrat. He wants to see America fail. I mean, it's really sad, really sad. And it's sad that people even listen to that guy. I mean, but it's mostly young kids, right? Groypers, as they call them. I don't think anybody that's, in their 30s, 40s, or 50s gives this guy any time of the day whatsoever. I mean, they realize he's just a shock jock that just says a lot of things that are just completely out there. And who knows? How do you define when he's being serious and when he's joking? How could you possibly know? Because he's got that same mentality, whether he's serious or not.
Yeah, he's a problem. And I don't know. I try not to give too much thought and especially airtime to those types. But, you got to kind of cover them from time to time to, just point out the insanity of how far out they are. I'm watching the headlines, by the way. And so far, I don't see anything about an alien spaceship landing in the middle of the Brazil soccer game in Miami.
Yeah, that was supposed to be today, right? According to that psychic.
Yeah, so I would think that I would see some headlines if that had happened. I don't see any, so we may be, fair to say or safe to say that there will be no alien landing at the soccer game today. Okay, just wanted to update everybody because I know people are really interested in that and are, wanting to make sure that, hey, if an alien, lands in the middle of this major world event, that we would cover it. We here at the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, we would be on that story.
Oh, I think that the aliens were supposed to suck up a few hundred of the people as well.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, see,
and sure, a few of them, or a few hundred.
Yeah, see, someone would write about that if it happened.
You would think.
Let's dive into pop culture a little bit here. Well, we've got a little bit of time left here in this hour. And folks, we are going to be back for a third hour today, so stay tuned. We've got one more hour of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show coming at you after we go to break here in a few minutes. But Lizzo released a new album, and it sold less than 3,000 copies in its first week. And Lizzo, You know her? She the heavyset woman.
I thought you said Rizzo, like our Rizzo.
Oh, like, no, Lizzo. Yeah, she was, you know, she hasn't released an album in a few years, but she put this one out, and to sell less than 3,000 copies in a week is like,
good.
You're done. I don't know, man. I don't know if the album's any good. She's blaming it on radio stations not being able to play it like they did, you know, before. That she got so much traction because it would play on the radio and people would want to buy it, and they're not hearing it on the radio anymore. But it did get, you know, tons of downloads, 2.7 million streams, but no one's buying it. But, you know,
well, streaming kind of free, kind of anyway.
Yeah, so they're sampling it.
She might not be making money. Yeah,
they're not interested in what they're hearing enough to buy it, which is kind of wild. I mean, that's a big miss. It's hard to come back from something like that, I would say.
Well, I really think, and I've said it before, and I say it on X all the time, and it really angers people, at least the people that are into Hollywood and the Illuminati music business, as I call it. And I just think their glory days are over. There's a new paradigm that is taking place. The baton is being passed. The opportunity for other talent to come forth without the Hollywood and Illuminati music business having their tentacles in every aspect of it. I mean, we're seeing it even with movies. We've talked about Iron Lung. We just now saw Backrooms, and independently filmed, and a couple of other films that are now doing better than the blockbuster films that they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on, because they're done. They're finito, finished. Nobody cares about the Holly weirdos. Nobody cares what Hollywood is doing. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know. Nobody trusts them. We all know that many of them are actually anti-America.
Exactly. And that's why it...
John Pitt, need I say more? That guy doesn't love our country at all.
Yup. You gotta love America, baby. You gotta love America.
Jane Fonda? Do you think she loved Bette Midler? Do you think they love America? As they're sitting there singing songs, you fascists, you know, we're gonna fight at the gate. Like, we're not fascists. Stop being crazy. Stop being insane. Stop hating America. Be a normal human being. But they're puppets, and that's why they're dying. And everybody knows that the puppets, that's what they are. They're not talent. They're not actors. They're not actresses. They're not musicians. They're puppets.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And like you say, it's just wonderful to see that changing, to see Hollywood just lose its grip kind of on the things they used to have so much control over, you know. They used to control everything that we saw, you know. We had 3 channels. You come home from work, you had 3 or 4 channels to choose from. You know what I mean? And that was if you lived in a big city. Now you got the internet and everything is streamed. It's organic on a whole different level that they really, you know, hadn't prepared for. And now it's with the AI revolution, they're over. I mean, somebody in Wichita, Kansas can sit down, you know, in his bedroom and put together a movie over the course of a few months, make a feature-length movie with AI, and it can be, if he's got the story, it can be the most compelling thing you've ever watched. You know, it could be an incredible, fantastic story that makes billions of dollars, and Hollywood never sees a penny of it. Wichita, Kansas gets rich on that one. You know, that's the future.
Amen to that. And more people are agreeing with what I'm saying than disagreeing, by the way, because most people are liking the shift, going back to the people and not having these, you know, monopolies control everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, who wants that?
I hear you, man. It's exciting times, man. It's just going to be a real vicious battle. You know what I mean? To get control of the conch. And that's what we're fighting for, is the conch.
Yep. Control over culture, control over, you know, how people think, and just getting people to open up their minds and understand that we've got the best system. We've already got it. We're not going to reinvent, you know, socialism or communism in such a way that it suddenly works fantastic. The only way it'll work is because America already has so much money. You know, you can rest on the laurels of our success for a while, a couple decades, until it all starts raveling apart, and you see the disadvantages. You see the crime increase. You see the poverty increase. It's inevitable. That's what socialism does, folks. It's inevitable. You can't make it work. You can't reinvent it in some way where suddenly it's just, we just tweaked a couple little buttons and made it work. It's not going to. It never will. People, when you don't own something, you have no stake in it, and so you don't care about it. And that's the problem that China has. No one cares about anything because they don't have any ownership in it. So anyway, folks, we've got to go take a break. This is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and we'll be right back after these messages.
All right, we're on radio break.
Excellent. 5-minute break, right?
Yep. I'm going to take in...
With the room switch.
Yep, going to do the room switch here in a minute. And then I'm going to get David in here with us, hopefully. If not, well, be us. Or
maybe David Hogg will come in.
We got about 2 minutes left in this room.
Yeah.
That's about it.
About a minute on my side.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. You just going to let it fade out?
A little bit, yeah. So I can catch us into the next one so we don't, we can get the break and say, hey, I'll see you next week or the week after, since we're going to take a break next week. All right. Well, I guess we're close enough. I'm going to go ahead and get us out of here, and then I'm going to bring us right back. All right?
All right.
All right. More of Censorship Sucks tonight because Jack's out. He's got hurt mowing the lawn. So let me bring them right back. They're filling in for him tonight. So hold on. Let me get everybody back here. Hey, John. Welcome.
Hello.
Back. Let me
Hello.
fix the here we go.
Tacos. Hello.
That was yesterday, Taco Tuesday.
See, every day is taco day.
I actually like sitting down during the show. It's nice. I don't want to get too comfortable and used to it, though.
Mm-hmm.
It feels... I got a chair it's propped up pretty high, and I got my desk in front of me. It's actually pretty nice.
Nice.
But generally, I just stand up for the whole show just to try to keep in better shape and not be too lazy. But I'm actually enjoying sitting for once.
Are you calling Mark lazy?
Yeah, I'm lazy.
Well, he's got more than 2 hours too. He's got what, 5-6 hours you got to do this stuff.
Okay, so now you're excusing his laziness?
Yeah,
I am.
Thank you.
Which is it?
Well, he's moving his arms to adjust the levels.
There you go.
Yeah.
And he's got those things so tight that it's working that upper bicep pretty good, and his forearms. He's going to have 5 forearms adjusting all those levels for if he keeps it up.
And don't forget the pipe.
Yeah, that's the heaviest thing I have here right now besides my
He's
coffee
working
cup.
on that. He's working on that jawline, smoking that pipe. I just say that because there's some dude that actually punched himself in the face or something to get a better jawline.
What?
Yeah.
That's weird. I
don't know. There's some dude that's like, he's been on all the big podcasts. Like, I don't know why, because he's just a moron, in my opinion. Maybe that's a little harsh, but he's been on Jake's and Logan's show. And I guess he's a beauty expert, because he's supposedly one of the most beautiful men, and young men in the world. And he keeps like having all these surgeries to fix it. But we all know what happens. You start having surgeries on your face, you start getting that Ozempic face.
Hey, Barry, you're taking the lead in the third hour here, so bring us in.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I had something to say, and now I don't.
Well, that's too bad, because here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're back live for the third hour right now.
All right, this is Bullhorn Barry. This is the third hour of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, and hey, they've given me the helm, so I'm going to run with it. And I just kind of wanted to spin off of what CS was talking about before the break, because we were talking about the conch, the control of the conch, and that's basically what this battle is all about. But here's the thing, because a lot of people say, well, Barry, I don't like that word control. Well, here's the thing. When the Democrat, leftist, globalists have control, it's micromanaging your life. When we have the control, it means no control and power back to we the people and freedom. So I want to clarify that. When we take back control of the conch, that just means you have more freedom. It's the opposite of control. What the globalists and what the Democrats want, they want to micromanage your life. They want to tell you how to think. They want you to have this, collective hive mind. It's all part of their little, everybody's going to rise to this higher level of consciousness, and we're going to tell you what that is. And it's all the woke stuff is what it is, if you want to be honest. And that's pretty scary, because we all know where that leads, man. And we should play some clips from some of these woke people, because look, the woke virus, the woke mind virus that Elon Musk talks about is only getting worse. It's only getting worse. People, if we thought that TDS was bad before, I think it's worse than it's ever been. We got to play some of these videos after the break. I will cue them up of people just not being in their right mind. And that really scares me, because we really need to have people sane. You know what I'm saying? We need to have people sane, especially people that are in power. We can't have lunatics that are in power, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't go away. If J.D. Vance wins the next round and he's the next president, then they'll have, VDS, which I like that, VDS. Sounds like a venereal disease, but it's just Vance derangement syndrome. They will carry this, baton forward. It doesn't matter who runs in the future, the past, whatever. They did it to Mitt Romney. They did it to McCain. They'll do it to anybody who wants to run on the right side of the aisle. So yeah, get ready for more of it. It doesn't go away. There is no cure. Trump going out of office will not cure this.
Yeah, I agree. I think people made it about Trump, but I don't think it really ever was about him. It was what Trump stood for and what he represented. And he wasn't a part of the globalist, leftist establishment status quo. And that's why they hated him. So anybody that's in that model, they're going to have the equal amount of disdain for. We've already seen this happen anyway with anybody that, is basically making some ground to make America great. They demonize them with the same fervor and the same commitment that they do Trump. And they call them the same names. They call them, look, I've been called fascist and racist and xenophobe and homophobe. I was called just yesterday, racist and bigot, because I actually think that Carmelo Anthony should have gone to jail for committing murder. And because of that, leftists were calling me racist and bigot. I don't know how. a reality, but in the world of the upside down, it is. And they live in an upside down. There's no question about it. They live in an upside down Stranger Things type of world. It's almost like a dark and demonic world, like from Stranger Things, and they want to unleash that on all the planet and just turn everything literally upside down. And maybe, I guess, the end goal of that is just to see everything collapse, and then they offer some pseudo solution where they just enslave us and have their little one world order. I'm not sure exactly, all the plan that they have, but it seems like if you can get everything to be chaotic, you can then offer a pseudo solution and then further enslave people.
Mm-hmm. Now I see we have a special guest in for the third hour today, David Campione. How you doing, David?
Hey, I'm great. How you guys doing, John? It's been a while since I talked to you, and
yeah.
Bullhorn, yeah, I don't think I've ever had the pleasure meeting you at all. Yeah, at least I don't.
What do you have to say about his thoughts on that?
I actually, I read about 30 years ago through the Phoenix Journals. They were, I don't know, it was some kind of channeling stuff that was coming out of California, of course. But anyway, they were saying that America is going to be in charge of North America. Russia is going to be in charge of Europe, and China is going to be in charge of the Far East. Now I don't know who's going to be in. I don't remember anything about the Middle East, but they
Africa, yeah.
But it just seems like it's working that way. I mean, I think that's why Russia was invaded Ukraine and started and then continue. Now they're encouraging off into in Poland. I think they've already bombed some buildings over there. Mistakenly bombed buildings in the NATO system. So that's what I see what's happening. And then I heard somebody on I don't know which radio program it was just last week that they said beware of the 4th of July. I don't know. Like there's going to be a whole money exchange or changeover. I don't know. And it could be because of everybody's trying to get away from the dollar around the world, and with the oil, and I was talking about BRICS 18 years ago when I first read about the BRICS nations, and they still have God knows how many tons of gold that they have in Shanghai is where they have a depository over there. And then they got Saudi Arabia in there, and I don't know if Iran was going to join it, and Iraq was thinking about joining it, all these different countries, and it's just I don't know. The whole thing is all screwed up, and the only problem is that I see is that there was this. I don't know if you guys are aware of Project Bluebeam. I don't know if you read anything about it, but what's that?
It rings a bell. I know I've heard of it somewhere.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to, for North America and South America, they're supposed to hologram Jesus to Christ for here, and then say, and then over in the Far East, they're going to do Buddha, and I guess in Russia, I don't know who the heck they were going to do over there, but in the Middle East, they were going to do Muhammad, so they can unite the whole world. So I'm still waiting on that, and I've read it. Like I said, I read about that probably 20 years ago about the Project Bluebeam. I used to have a book on it around here, and a small book. But the whole thing is crazy, and it's all controlled. I think everything's controlled.
If they're going to try if they're going to try some kind of thing like the Project Bluebeam, I think it's going to have to be something that's going to have to be very ultra realistic. And I think the best way that they could do that would be to have one of their own crafts that they've, maybe reverse engineered, as they say, and, fly it over somewhere. I don't think that any hologram, I think that too many people are awake, too many people are aware. I did ask AI when it was telling the truth at one time, what was going to be the next big move. And it did say a Project Bluebeam type of thing. I think, and this is just my personal opinion, and first of all, I don't think that any of these things that you're talking about, that the season is ripe for that. That's just my opinion. I have many reasons to believe that as well. But I think if they're going to try something, and this would be like more or less like either a last-ditch effort because they're losing, or after they've created so much chaos, they bring in a cyber pandemic to kind of, finalize the deal. I think that would be their go-to thing because it's something that the globalists have mentioned is coming, and they've said it very assuredly, and this is on the record. Like, I'm not too big on, scuttlebutt and rumor and theories and channeling and what psychics and all that kind of stuff. I'm really just into I think just the facts that we have is astonishing enough. I think the very facts and the documents that we have that we can look at and the things that we know is stranger than fiction already. We don't need to like beef it up a whole bunch, but who knows? It's crazy times. I wouldn't rule anything out. That's for sure.
Well, I'm keep looking for headlines.
Know.
I keep looking for headlines around the World Cup and the alien ship that's supposed to be landing during the Brazil game, and I do not see any updates. So it should be good for that. For now.
Oh, I didn't see anything on that, John. Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a psychic out of Brazil predicted it. So we're keeping an eye on it. We'll see.
Yeah, and it's funny because all the people on YouTube and TikTok that played the video of her, she's been right about it, but they never say what she was right about. They just make stuff up. And I see this with a lot of different videos about ancient things and different mysteries. They make it like it's some sort of real thing, but then you do your research and your due diligence, and you see that it's something that's been fully debunked for, decades and decades. So I don't understand why people fall so. I'm not saying, David, that you're conspiracy theorists, but I'm talking about people that fall for wild conspiracies that are at best speculation, conjecture, or completely fabricated and manufactured or stretched beyond what it really is. And we see this happening all the time. And I think that's part of the PSYOP. Part of the government PSYOP is to get people distracted on the crazy wild conspiracies so that when they do their real thing, it takes us off guard.
Oh, when I was in the service, I'm probably a lot older than you guys are. I was in special training in August of '66 out in California, and I remember this Navy. I don't know what the heck he was, a captain or a lieutenant commander or something. The guy was a real fireball. He was actually. I was surprised he was in the service that they left him in there and they promoted him. But the thing that resonated with me was what he said right at the end before the group had broken up. He said that the United States of America is so far behind in propaganda. and so despite all the conspiracies and everything that goes on and the alleged things that are going on, who knows? It's all propaganda. I mean,
well,
we don't. Yeah,
here's
go
the
ahead.
thing about USA. Is USA somewhat compromised? Of course it is. We've been talking about it on the show for years about, how the left has infiltrated, the globalists have infiltrated it, anti-Americans that, want to see America brought down. But at the same time, America is still strong. And we know that because they're still fighting to try to bring us down. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The very fact that we're making progress and moving the needle forward in many different ways. Well, there's tons of ways we need to move the needle, but there's no way you can shift it from where it's been over the last few decades, overnight to where we want it to be. So this is a slow process. It's going to be something that continues beyond Trump. And this is the thing I have a problem with everybody that's just constantly harassing Trump. I never thought for one moment Trump was going to be perfect. I always Trump was going to be a mixed bag, but he would be a wrecking ball, and that he would set us up as a stepping stone to where we can get to where we need to be over time. And this is the same kind of philosophy that Brent has, Brent Havacek from Turning Point, that we have to be in this for the long haul. And will we win or will we lose? I don't know. But what I do know is that I believe in America. I love America. I'm a peaceful freedom fighter, and I will never stop fighting for freedom and stop fighting for the values of America and what America stands for. I'm going to be flying my flag high on the 4th of July. I've got probably 3 or 4 flags in the closet that I'm going to be bringing out. So I want people to know I love everything that America stands for. And if you're going to try to take it down, we're not going to go quietly into the night.
Oh, no. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I fly a flag. I haven't had solar lights because I found them at Harbor Freight about 15 years ago, where I could put solar lights up there because I fly it every day for the past 35 years. I don't pull them out. I keep them on, and I just replace them when they get moldy and all ratty. But in reference to what you were saying prior to the flag, and I think it was 2023 in September, Klaus Schwab at the G20 meeting said, we got to bring down the United States even level with the rest of the world. And this is what I see happening. Part of it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's their goal. They want to level everybody down. Yep. Instead of raising everybody up like the United States, and they don't want the United States to be a beacon of light to the whole world. They want to basically bring it down. Then once we're defeated, then that sort of sends a chilling effect to the rest of the world, and it sort of demoralizes everybody and goes, well, that was the hope of the world right there. That was, that was the great white hope, and it's been destroyed. So we've got to fight, because we're not just fighting for America. We're fighting really for everybody in the world, because these globalists do want full spectrum dominance, and they're going to try to use AI to try to enslave us all. And like I said before on the show last week, I don't know that we can stop it. I really don't. I'm optimistic that we can thwart it, that we can slow it down, that we can prevent it from them using it to take us fully over for a good period of time. And I would like to believe that we could stop it, but I don't know that we can, because it's kind of a juggernaut. It's moving at a rapid pace right now, and it's only going to gain more and more speed. I think the only thing that would set it back would be if it caused something so horrible to happen that everybody in the world said, we've got to stop this because it's just so bad. So maybe that would be something to stop it once they really get it rolling. But I am concerned about AI, but I think it's going to be a period of time. I don't think it's going to happen overnight like a lot of people say.
What do you think about these data centers that are going in? Are you for or against? I'm sure you're against.
Overall, I'm against. I've heard, though, from different people, and again, I don't know enough about it, but I heard that they really don't have to use the resources that they're using to do them, that there are people building these data centers without, taking up all the space, using up all the water, and creating shortages. So to me, I don't feel like they're giving us all the information. I feel like we're not getting enough information, and they're moving rapidly, moving too fast. Of course, I'm against the big, giant, large data centers that are sucking out the water and using up.
Oh, yeah.
Of course,
if they're done in such a way that they produce their own energy, they produce their own cooling methods, they're not using the water system. They're not on the grid. If they're able to self-sustain, then I'm not, against them. We need them. You have to have data centers to, fuel the future of computing, right? So it's a necessary evil that we kind of have to have in some form or another. So let's make sure it's done right, is what I would say. Let's legislate things to make sure that it's done properly, so that the people aren't suffering. And I can't have air conditioning because so-and-so's got to make a new song, whatever.
Yeah. They were, somebody was saying that, I don't know what state it was in. I know it wasn't, I live in Florida, and they're fighting against it down here. And they were talking about, because we're in such a drought, and that's why the people are up in arms about it. They want to, just like what you said, John, about they could produce their own energy and or whatever they could use for it, and reclaim the water and reuse the water constantly. reuse it, and their wastewater, and then they can be the initial supply of it, you're going to have to fill them up, but then they'll be able to reuse it again if they want to spend the money for the proper construction of it. Yeah.
And I could tell you to just envision a liquid cooled PC, but you don't have to. We already have it. I mean, it's
is that right?
You know, if you have a liquid cooled PC, it's not draining all the water. You're not going to see it on your water bill. You're going to put 3 cups in it or whatever, and it's going to work forever.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I never even heard of it. Is that right? Water cooled?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of gaming PCs now are liquid cooled. So you just have like a water, or in some cases, maybe some other type of radiator fluid, some sort of special thing. Yeah. And yeah, you cycle it through, and it goes to one end and cools down. It goes, through the CPU and cools it off, and then goes and runs through a, series of smaller tubes that allows it to cool down again, and they recycle it. So it's not anything that's new, right? It's in use everywhere. So I was very confused about why they're using so much water. It seems odd.
And the problem is a lot of them aren't paying their bills either. There was one company up in I don't know, it was in Midwest or somewhere. They owed like $155,000 per month, and they're not paying them. I mean, it's just insane. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
But yeah, for computing power, just for computing, for ones and zeros to go across the screen.
Yeah, what was it? Well, wasn't Bill Gates or his foundation or what Microsoft, they were going to buy 3 Mile Island just for the data centers?
Would make sense, yeah. I mean, they'd have to get permission to fire the thing back up, or
one data
build
center.
A new one up. You'd probably build a new one at this point in time, right?
One data center. Oh my God. That's crazy. Yeah, well, he talked about it a year and 2 years ago or something. He was going to buy it, and they said, "Oh yeah, you never get it up and running." It's and the lefties say, "Oh no, it's not going to work because it's going to break down again." Well, if they go in there and build it right or reconstruct it properly, it's going to last forever. At least in our lifetime. So.
Yeah, I mean, the dangers of nuclear power plants, you're going back to the 70s and 80s to really, that's where people's mentality come from, Where it is today is a far cry from 3 Mile Island, right? So, I mean, it's 10,000 times safer now, and on and on. But, what's also interesting is if you think about, how much we're escalating the processing power with these data centers. And you've got Moore's Law, which says, every year chips cost half as much and will be twice as fast.
Oh,
Remember that law that came out way back in the day, and it's pretty much proven true.
And smaller, and half as small, he's also.
Yeah, and half the size, exactly, yeah. So we're kind of seeing, it's incredible. As that's happening, as it's getting faster and better and yada, yada, we're finding the need to build just insane amounts of processing, so far beyond anything we've ever done in the past. It's pretty incredible how life is going to change over the next 5 to 10 years. We were talking about that in the first hour, Dave. Just
is that right?
Change.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, with robots and AI and everything that's coming together, the next 5 years will be absolutely transformational in modern life.
Yeah. Wow. It's going to be interesting. I worry about what's going on with, I mean, there's so many things that are overwhelming, and the debt is one of them. I mean, we're at the point where this country we can't even pay the interest on the debt.
Yeah, I think it just surpassed the Pentagon budget.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, the Pentagon. Yeah. Because I see people on Facebook who post and they say, well, if you don't pay your taxes, the IRS is going to figure out who they know exactly who you are. But here the Pentagon loses $1.2 trillion or something. I don't even know. It's mind-boggling to me, and they can't figure out where it's going. I just don't know. But I think that we're in a bad shape financially. And I see it around here where I live. I live in northern Florida, and the gas prices have been coming down. The cheapest I saw the other day, I was out looking for some wildlife. It was $3.64 for regular, which was pretty cheap, as far as I know. I mean,
well, they're gouging a little bit. I think Trump brought that up this week. He was talking about how because we're already down to whatever, $75 a barrel, and the prices are overpriced for what the price of the barrel is, and the gas people are using that as an opportunity.
That always takes a few weeks to work through the pipeline now.
They're using it to make some profits, and I don't like that. And Trump didn't like that. And the people don't like that because we've been through a lot already. You know, we went through the shamdemic, which was just insane. I mean, I can't even believe that they did that. You know, that's why they have to be held accountable. The people that knew better. Anyway,
well, I didn't have to deal with this pandemic.
I just call it the shamdemic because
I became an essential person.
Okay, well, you know. What they labeled was essential is pretty interesting. It said a lot of the character, not for you in particular, but as a general rule, you know, they those strip clubs, the liquor stores, the chains, but the small business,
they were all open.
They gotta close, man. We can't be. I remember it was Gavin Newsom. He was saying, well, we can't have churches singing now. Now we can't have you singing in church. That could spread COVID. I mean, just the sheer insanity that we went through, and yet you know that if it happened again, there'd be a great number of people that would be wearing 4 or 5 masks again, and they'd be saying, "Oh, 10 feet this time. 6 feet wasn't enough. 10 feet. Lockdown."
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you know what I really loved about the pandemic was when I used to drive down I photograph wildlife, and there's a place south of Gainesville, and I would drive down about 15 miles on the interstate. I would see 3 cars, and then I'm listening to the talk show radio, the local one out of Gainesville, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, the police are pulling them people over unless you're essential." So I just deemed myself as essential, but the trucks are going up and down and delivering to the stores, just like what you were saying.
I think we need to go on break. Is that right?
You missed it, but let's go.
All righty, let's go to break, and we'll be right back after a few minutes.
All right. Glad to have you in, David.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't get in. I didn't know where I was, Mark. I was looking at Jack's show.
Oh.
Yeah, I was never on this program. I don't even know who it is. I mean, I remember John Galt because John, the last time I talked to you or the only time, I don't even know what program you were on. It was a couple of years ago.
Censorship.
I went to it could be. I went to high school with a man named John Galt, in my school, in high school. Oh God, it's just crazy. So where do you Bullhorn? Where do you live at? What state? I don't even want to know the town, just the state.
I'm a big Okie.
Oh, Pinocchio.
Oklahoma, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not an Okie from Muskogee, but I am from Oklahoma.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys, is your place on? Is there the state on fire out there, or they're just getting storms or something? I don't know. I can't keep up with it anymore.
Yeah, we're just under global dimming and geoengineering and rain all the time. I got a clip queued up because you told me to do so. So we got that ready to roll when we come back.
Sorry, I had to step out for a second. Sorry about that. I don't even know if you missed me.
Not really, but you're back.
I noticed.
Yeah, I was talking to you, John. But
it's all right.
I was wondering why I didn't get a reply. No, I was going to say, the last time we were on together, I asked you, I went to high school with a John Galt.
Oh, yeah?
In Palmyra, New Jersey, yeah. And I don't know if you're from that area, but, I don't know.
No, Michigan.
And then
okay.
And then he wrote a book called Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, we all know about that one.
Oh God. It's funny. It's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you guys got problems up there in Michigan, I understand.
Oh, I haven't been in Michigan since I was like 20.
Oh, okay. You're from there originally. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
John lives the good life, man, out in nature, you know. He's living the nomad life.
For him.
Get it? Nomad. It's no madness when you do the nomad way. I never thought of that until you escape the madness when you do the nomad lifestyle.
Correct. Yeah, it's really nice out here. I'm really, really loving it.
Yeah. What are you working at the good place that you normally work at during the summertime?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you still getting food?
Now, don't forget, guys, we got to end about 5 till. Or a little bit before, all right?
Yeah.
Are you getting a lot of free food, John, still?
Yeah, you know, my fair share.
Your fair share.
Yeah. I had a really good breakfast burrito the other day, and they did something interesting, which is they took like those meat kind of bacon bits right out of the can, and we're adding it to the eggs, right? Like, you know, like you just buy bacon bits.
Okay, let me give you the countdown. I missed the 30-second mark. Here's your countdown. 5.
Oh God.
4.
Are you ready, Barry?
3. 2.
Are you ready? Oh,
1.
God.
And you're live and back on the radio side right now.
Hey everyone, this is Bullhorn Barry with the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. This is the final hour, and it's the final portion of the last hour. So hope you guys enjoy it. We were talking.
Do you have any guests?
What's that?
Do you have any guests with you tonight?
Oh yes. I'm not used to doing it, man. You know, I'm just used to being the sidekick. I like being the sidekick. It's less responsibility. And with us tonight, we're
doing the third hour. You know.
Yeah, I don't even think I did that correct as well. I'm doing this totally on the fly. We have John Galt, also known as CS, who is actually the host of the show for I don't know how many years now.
God, 6, something like that. I don't know. A while.
Yeah, a good long time. And then we also have a guest, David Campione, who I guess you've been in the chat rooms and have been chatting it up with Mark a little bit. Is that correct, or am I missing out?
Oh, about 8 years.
Oh, come on. David's been with me. David's been with me for probably about 12 or 14 years, off and on with one of my original shows, Cafe Enigma, all the way into Nancy's show, which he'll be in there tonight as well.
Yeah. I got a background with flying saucers, UFOs. My dad was a researcher, started in 1948. And I've seen 13 of them in my life. And the last one I saw was about 2.5 years ago. I actually photographed something. I don't know. It was so far away. But anyway, I don't like anything during the night, anything that comes out of the U.S. government. And I put together when my dad died. I used to do lectures in South Florida and up in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Nothing in New York. But Reader's Digest was books were interested in the photos that my dad had got from a guy from Carl Villa out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, in his 60s. But anyway, I put my dad's slide presentation and put it on VHS. You remember VHS?
Sure.
Yeah, and it was in 1990, 91? I put together, had a guy down in South Florida, in West Palm, Lake Worth. It was a little south of West Palm Beach. And anyway, I narrated. You didn't see me on it. I just narrated, and it was a documentary. And it was Mark even tried to salvage it because Bezos or Amazon, they messed it all up. But anyway, I sent it off to a UFO convention in Las Vegas in 92, I think it was 92, 93, and I won for the best documentary in the world. So I got the award,
Wow.
the EB Extraterrestrial Biological Entity Oscar award. And I didn't even have to go out there; they sent it to me, and then I put together my father's work. I can't remember how many years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, was the first manual, UFO spacecraft identification manual, and I sold it on Amazon for like under $7, and there were no photos in it, but just illustrations, and then I added 10 color photos 5 or 6 years ago. And it's still up on Amazon. You can go anybody listening under David Campione, the UFO spacecraft identification man. You don't even have to buy it. You can just look at it, and I think you can flip the pages, because it did for me one time when I went in there, or a couple times, and you can just look at the spacecraft during the daytime in color.
Yeah, you were before UFOs became super popular, man. But speaking of UFOs and aliens, I think we may have already been, I don't know, infected with aliens. I think aliens may already be here. And I got a clip, man, of a potential alien from some unknown galaxy right here. I'm going to play it and let you guys comment on it.
I'm scared.
Hideous. It's criminal. Really, the hubris, the arrogance behind this failed project is just horrendous.
Could you elaborate on that? What was what's the
$17 million of my tax dollars are in it. Yeah, it's awful. And it's going to take a long time to recover.
I think the initial, what he was trying to do was paint the bottom, to repaint it.
Yeah, we know what he was trying to do.
And then to clean it. So what went wrong?
It was a vanity project, a $17 million vanity project, like so much else of what he's done to Monumental Washington.
But maybe for somebody on the other side, like, what is wrong with trying to clean the pool or repaint it?
Nothing. And administrations over the decades have all tried to do it. But it hasn't been a vanity project for an individual. It's been a restoration or the maintenance of a piece of public property, not the vehicle for the expression of his personal arrogance and narcissism.
How do you know it was because of his arrogance or narcissism, though?
I lived with him for 3.5 years.
You live with Trump?
I live in this town.
Oh. Okay.
He's in my town.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't see any algae. I heard reports that there was algae floating around the top of it.
Keep walking.
Keep walking.
Is there a piece of algae over there?
See where the pumping stations are?
Yes.
The pumps are pumping it out right now.
Oh, so they're cleaning out the algae.
Yeah, they're
right
using
now.
Hoses, vacuum-type hoses, to suck it out, and it's running into a city drain somewhere. There's an algae bloom in the reflecting pool every hot summer.
Right, it's kind of normal.
Nothing new about that. But that's not what this project is all about. This project is about him.
It's all about Trump, isn't it? I mean, if anybody else was doing it, it would be fantastic, right? They would celebrate.
Yeah, and that was Politburo, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Where'd you get that from?
Politburo.
I got it from X. So, I mean, I don't know exactly, how that.
Yeah,
that
that's who it is. That's who it is.
Yeah. I've never seen the guy before, but he asked some really good questions, and he seemed, I guess, a little shocked that, that they were answering as they are. But maybe aliens really have come down and taken over. Maybe they've just taken over the bodies of Democrats. Maybe it's like invasion of the body snatchers, and late at night while they're sleeping, a cocoon forms, and then they come out, and they're just not the same anymore. You go, my neighbor, my wife's just not the same anymore. I don't, are they woke? Yes, but it just happened so suddenly.
Yeah, that guy went around, and that's how I knew who it is. I saw that video. It's he went around and talked to a bunch of people, and like it was sort of half and half. Half said, "Hey, it looks great. Nothing wrong." The other half said, "Oh my God, it's a vanity project," and that was the key word. They all said, "Vanity, vanity, vanity." It's just Trump being vain. That what he wants the reflecting pool to look good. Is that a vanity project? If it looks better, And apparently, I've got an article here from Breitbart saying, it looked amazing this morning. It was, they show this photo of it. It was just crystal clear, beautiful blue water with the monuments in the back. Just looks good. They spent 3 times, I think, in the Biden administration that Trump spent. And they closed it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Biden or Obama for 2 years. And it still had all kinds of problems, and it didn't look as good. And, so, hey, they spent $25 million studying men's breast milk and its health effects. This is 14 million. It's chump change.
Or shrimp sex life, stuff like that. Things that make no difference, that is a slush fund, that it's a payback somehow. You're giving somebody some money, right? Because they did you right, now you're doing them right.
Yeah, somebody's got a fantastic crib out in California, looking at the beach or whatever, and it's paid for by the government.
Oh, by taxpayers.
Yeah, they're studying crap that no one cares about, and they're making $5 million a year doing it.
Yeah, and then because you guys are so astute, and if you try to get a grant money, and they go, oh no, you didn't cross enough T's and dot enough I's and periods there, and they won't give it to you. You got to be connected, just like what you said.
You just go need to give 5-10% of that contract value to a politician, and then the politician will see to it that you get it, right? It's just a classic kickback thing,
Mm-hmm. And thankfully, I do believe that the Trump administration has an anti-fraud department now, or a committee, and we are getting some arrests as well, some indictments. I'm trying to think. I think they just announced some recently, like the other day. Let me see if I can find that on my social media. I think it was the DOJ announced 455 defendants charged in 45 different states since June 8th for over $6.5 billion in healthcare fraud. And so there is something being done. And that's the thing that really gets me about the woke right, the doom and gloomers, that just all they see is bad, but they're not looking at the good. I don't care if you criticize Trump or criticize things, but you got to look at things from a fair perspective. You got to look at things balanced. Finally, today on X, Owen Schroyer responded to me, but it was a troll response. And then I responded again to his troll response, to which he wouldn't reply, because he is just a doom and gloomer. And if you listen to his video that he put out today, the first, 4 or 5 minutes, he literally sounded like it was the end of the world. He sounded woke. It was disgusting, man. I don't know what happened to him, because he used to be so on fire, and now he's just all doom and gloom. He's not really offering any solutions either, and he's not looking at the good that's being done. So he's not being fair and balanced. You got to tell the good with the bad. In fact, if all you do is tell the bad, that's going to demoralize the masses. It sort of goes back to the psychology of, for every negative thing you tell a person, like in business, they tell this, you should really give 2 compliments, because the negativity has more power than the positive does. So we need to be reporting the good with the bad, and not wasting our time like Alex Jones has been doing lately on frivolous stuff, like talking about Charlie Kirk is still alive. And that was one of his shows devoted the other day. And then I think today was something just as crazy as that. More wild conspiracy type stuff, that really has nothing to, it was about, if you can believe this, it was about Palm Beach Pete being possibly Jeffrey Epstein. No way is Palm
Oh,
Beach.
I saw. Yeah, the guy was driving that BMW or something. Yeah, with the convertible. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, okay, there's some similarity, but it's clearly not the guy.
No.
And there's some common areas and common parties that they attended. And all of a sudden, because they can connect a few dots, this is somehow, they believe, it truly is Jeffrey Epstein. And this is the kind of stuff that just drives me nuts, man. Wild conspiracy theories occupying our time when we have real, serious issues that need to be discussed.
Yeah. And I mean, Epstein hated Trump, right?
He was
they
looking
don't have
at
the
something.
dirt on Trump they think they do. It's all Democrats. The dude is a Democrat. He was best friends with Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that's right. You got that painting up there in his New York brownstone with Clinton in a pink dress.
I think it's a blue dress.
A blue dress.
But some people might see pink. You know, that's the internet thing, right? You see blue and I see pink. It could be one of those things. I don't know.
I don't remember. I saw it years ago.
That might be a good meme right there. Start the meme with, you know, that painting of Bill Clinton in the blue dress and say, what do you see? Is it a blue dress or gold dress? And then get it going viral so everybody kind of researches and finds out, oh, that was the painting that Epstein had. Well, why would Epstein have a painting of Bill Clinton wearing a dress? Did he was he a cross-dresser? Was he into transgender women? Who knows?
It was Monica Lewinsky's dress.
Oh, was it? Well, that kind of kills it. That kills all the conspiracies, man. That's no fun. At least the George Bush one is interesting when he's got some airplanes going into Jenga towers. That one was interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Conspiracy theorists went wild with that one. And I'm okay with conspiracy theories, but I don't want to waste all my time talking about them when we've got real conspiracies that we need to deal with, right, that are happening, just like trying to take America down. That's a pretty big conspiracy that we all need to be talking about, as David was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it really bothers me that what I see happening. When I photograph nature, which I've been doing, I'm a photographer by trade, 55 years. And when I go down to in this one area in Gainesville, I got to be real careful because with the University of Florida there, it's a total lefty situation down there, and I don't know. I just talk wildlife when I'm down there. I don't get into anything political.
I hate to interrupt, but if you know Gainesville, do you know where Waldo, Florida is?
Oh yeah. I used to go to I used to pass Waldo. Yeah. Willie's got the worm farm over there, or did at the flea market.
That's too funny.
The flea market, yeah, Waldo. Yeah, I think I was on your program one time, and I asked. It was the only time I was on. It was a couple of years ago or something, and I asked Willie. I said, "So, what stall are you in at the flea market?" I didn't know. But I think he had his own. He's growing his own worms on his own worm farm. Is that what it is? Yeah, I think.
Correct. Yeah. He doesn't sell them at the flea market, to my knowledge. He makes worm hot dogs out of them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, I thought he was selling the pea jugs at the flea market at one time.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never heard the flea market.
Yeah, at the flea market, because the county fair is only like once a year or a couple times a year, so he has to go to the flea market and make up the difference between times.
I see. I want to bounce back, if we can, real quick to the alien takeover, the invasion of the body snatchers theory, if we can, just for a second. And CS, we've kind of touched on this. If the left wins, the kind of world we're going to live in, it's going to be a crazy world because, their reasoning is basically insane. I want to talk about this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a politician, James Tallarico. Are you familiar with him?
Out of Texas, right?
Yeah. Well, here's something he said recently that really I found to be quite fascinating. He said, "I always think of myself as a Christian who hates Christianity." I don't even know what kind of reason that is. It's like trying to wrap my head around that. I just can't. It would be like saying I'm a good husband, but I hate my wife and kids. I see myself as a good husband, but I hate my wife and kids. I mean, this is the kind of madness that they want to push on us. And what would you do? What would a society do if this is the kind of nonsense that's constantly coming out of the schools, the education system, out of politics, out of the news? I mean, you would be demoralized because it would be like 1984. They would be telling you stuff that's just completely absurd and you can't wrap your head around it. So you just ignore it and accept it. And I think maybe that is part of their strategy, is just to come at us with such alien language that we just throw in the towel and say, you can't win.
Is he not the dude that also said God was non-binary and that God also the Bible endorsed abortion?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you may not have it exactly correct, but along those lines, of course. Yeah, he said all kinds of loony things, of course. I mean, this is his thing. He's a woke person. He's kind of emasculated. He's what would you call a beta male? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but and you know, he thinks that's the cool masculine thing to be, is to be a beta male. It's actually the opposite. But again, it's everything they say. It makes no sense. And to try to make sense of it will drive you nuts. You know what I'm saying? It will drive you crazy, because if you start thinking in their ways, you can get infected by it. I think you could get in, because I think the woke mind virus is something that is contagious. There's a video that came out. Oh, we should play it, man, where the guy just basically says one day with living with a liberal, and then it has this picture of him, and he seems somewhat normal. 2 days of living with a liberal, he's looking a little bit more disheveled. 3 days of living with, his hair's blue. You know, by the end of the month, he's completely out of his mind. He's crying, and he's saying he's non-binary. I mean, it's just it really is a virus.
Yeah,
it's funny.
The woke mind virus.
I think Elon coined that phrase, and maybe somebody said it before him, but he made it go viral, the woke mind virus. So kudos to him on that one.
Yeah. It's amazing what you can do when you have 30 million followers, huh?
Yes. Yeah, they're blaming him now on, I guess, because he said for the people in Ireland, they need to fight back, but he didn't say anything violent. You know, he just said, you know, you have to resist the madness and the insanity. And they're saying he's causing millions of people and children to die. And I mean, they just make stuff up, the fake news does, to demonize. I mean, that's really what they do. And we should define what demonization is. Demonization is demonizing somebody really for something that they haven't done. Okay. So if you're demonizing a real demon like Carmela Anthony, who was, you know, acting demonically when he basically killed that poor young man and stabbed him, that's not demonization. Demonization, and it's not saying you have to be perfect, but they're you know, demonizing somebody that's just a normal person that really hasn't done anything horrible, but they want to make it seem horrible. That's what demonization is, and it's something that the mainstream media does. It's part of their propaganda plan.
Yep. Demonize. But I'll tell you, that Talrico guy is a special case down there in Texas.
Oh, man.
People keep thinking that Texas is going to flip, you know, over to Democrats, and I don't see it. I don't see it.
I think
too
the
many
left
people are
believes that,
fleeing.
though. The left,
Too many people are fleeing California to go out there to, you know, not vote for the same damn thing.
Well, I think the left believes in it, because if you ever see that movie Civil War, everything about that movie that was put together was all about a Trump figure, and we need to, you know, he was going to be a dictator, kill American civilians. But the only thing that was off was that Texas was part of the leftist resistance, right? That was like sort of their way of saying, oh, it's really not about left or right. But everybody knows that the left believes in their radical mind that the left, that the Texas is turning blue. They believe that. They've said that thousands and thousands of times. In fact, you know, a lot of the big cities have turned blue. Austin is as blue as you can possibly get, my friend.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Now, does that tell Rico, is he a Republican or Democrat?
James,
pretty 99% sure he's a Democrat.
Yeah, he's a Democrat.
Because he just lost his primary yesterday.
Oh, did he? What a shame.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. I you know, it was at least I think that's what he did. He got replaced. He's not going to be back in the U.S. Congress anymore.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
You know, I heard a Republican tell me the other day who basically leans left, though, a little bit, or who leans liberal. I shouldn't say leans left. And he was telling me, well, I'm really afraid that the Democrat Party's not going to have anybody. And I'm like, oh, they're going to have plenty of people. They're going to pop up all kinds of lunatics, right? And they're never going to allow a person like a Tulsi Gabbard in. It was a miracle that Tulsi Gabbard even got into the debates when she did. And she won the first debate, and she was the most searched name after the first debate. And then they went into demonizing her, and then she started dropping in the polls because they just hammered her because she was not one of their chosen few, right? So they're going to bring in all their crazies. And that's who the left is going to have to choose from. And that's what I don't understand about the Democrats. Why haven't they figured out that their party has been hijacked? Have they not noticed that everybody that they prop up is some kind of an establishment stooge or completely out there like a Mark Tallarico?
Or that guy from Stephen Miller earlier, where he mentioned that, look, this is not the Democratic Party of your parents or your grandparents. This is a whole new game. Now, the Democrat socialist wing of the Democratic Party is in charge. And, they're running it. And they're all about socialism, communism, Islam, all kinds of radical stuff that, hey, man, they got New York. They locked it down. It's coming to the rest of the country. It's happening in Minneapolis. It's happening in
Maine,
California, you name it.
Mm-hmm. We got about 1 minute left, and I'm going to give you the honor, CS, like you've given me the honor. Is there anything you would like to tell people about this 4th of July that you feel is super important, and then you can take us out? And David, thank you for being on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, let's embrace our World Cup guests that are here. Let's show them the best of time they've ever had. If you're here from any other country on the 4th of July, I say it should be illegal for you to buy your own beer, right? It should be illegal for you to walk up to the bar and say, I'd like a beer, and you have to pay for it. Americans should shell out and say, welcome to America, it's on me. So treat them well and show them the love, show them what America's all about.
Sounds like a good deal. And we still got a little bit left. So, David, you want to add anything? Okay, maybe not. I'm getting this.
No. I think we're going to get cut off.
All right. Yeah. Happy 4th, everybody, and we'll see you after the 4th. Look forward to that show then.
Thank you for listening to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show. If you missed any of tonight's show, you can find it and others in our archives. Thanks again, and you can catch us next week for another brand new show.